constitutional violations undermined the integrity of her 2021 trial.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Glen Cliff, we've got a crash blocking the right lane. This is going to be 40 eastbound right there at Spence Lane, exit 213. Elsewhere, we've just got the usual buildups going. Eastbound 440 over to 24, northbound 65. That is coming to complete stops at time there from 440 up to the South Loop. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome in. Once again, it is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We start promptly at about 6:60. What am I doing? Can I start over? Hello again, everybody. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We start promptly at just after 3. I was looking at the 6 on my clock, and it says 3:06, and I saw the 6, and then my brain said, hey, mouth, say 6, and I did, and now I've screwed the show up. So I apologize for all of that. Hey, hope you're doing well. Hope your day's going well. Hope you avoided the raindrops from earlier. I assume all of that's over, but I don't know because I've been so out of pocket. I've been so out of whack and out of pocket. I've been busy doing other things, and I'm just getting caught back up with what is going on in the news. But thankfully, I've got Ken Weaver over in News Closet B. He gathers headlines, delivers them twice an hour, and when it breaks, and we appreciate him being on top of these news items that we need to know about in the afternoon hours on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, Mr. Weaver.
How about you boys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
It's busy. It's a busy day.
It has been a crazy news day. What with Donald Trump addressing the nation last night? What with Donald Trump reclassifying marijuana? What with the Health and Human Services Director offering an edict on sex changes? We're discussing all of those subjects today. But we start what you guys have been talking about through the course of the afternoon, and I've heard a couple of these conversations. Well, I've heard a few of your newscasts, Ken, this awful plane crash out of North Carolina.
Yes,
apparently involving former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and his family. Apparently the plane took off, got about to 2,000 feet of elevation, and I guess was never right. There was something wrong from the jump, Ken.
Yes, sir.
And he tried to get back to the airport and was unable to do so.
Yeah, and multiple reports say it was Mr. Biffle, his wife, his 2 kids, and then 2 pilots. And, yeah, like about 24 minutes or so after takeoff is 24 to 29 minutes or so after takeoff is when the crash happened. But they did they took off and then apparently started trying to loop back to the airport, got to the airport, but then reports say it flipped. The jet flipped and then crashed and then boom.
Yeah, I'll lean on some of the knowledge that many of you in the listening audience might have about piloting an aircraft and what would cause that. I don't know. I mean, I depend on the kindness of others when I get on an aircraft, that they know what they're doing and they'll get us there safely because we're all in the same boat, if you will. So I don't know a lot. What I don't know about airplanes would fill a boat. But obviously, if you're flipping, that means that you're having some sort of difficulty regarding controlling the airplane. And one would think that the airplane is fighting you. That's just my instincts. My guts is telling me that the pilots were fighting the aircraft, wanting to do something that they didn't want the aircraft to do. And before they were able to get it back landed, they lost that battle, and as a consequence, lost their lives. It's just an absolute fireball and a tragedy. We have a lot of small aircraft tragedies that happen, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, there are so many planes in the air on any given moment, any given day. There's so many aircraft in the air. The sheer amounts of aircraft in the air, the fact that we don't see more of these is fascinating, amazing. It goes to aviation safety, frankly. You see a lot more people on a day-to-day basis dying in automobile wrecks, but there are a lot more automobiles on the road, and there are a lot more people that are able to drive them, which is why it's not, quote-unquote, news. It is also not news when a small aircraft like this lands safely and on time. I always say, it's not a headline, plane lands safely and on time. But if that plane doesn't land safely and or on time, then that might be some news. We'd love to hear from you throughout the course of the afternoon. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. We spoke to Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. Let's introduce the straw that stirs the drink. He is the one, the only. Jackson Williams, everybody.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Brother Jackson.
That feels sarcastic.
I'm but one man. But imagine every person listening to this radio show doing the same thing in their homes, in their places of business, in their automobiles. Can everyone do me a favor? Whatever you might be doing, I don't care if you're driving, do it anyway. Just go ahead and stand up and give Jackson a applause.
Thanks, buddy. I'll be here all week. Not all of next week, but all this week.
What's going on, Jackson?
Not much, bud.
It was a hell of a show yesterday, Jackson. I got a lot of response from that show yesterday.
You got angry yesterday.
Yeah, I got angry at a caller or two.
It was an interesting day yesterday.
It was a very interesting day, to say the least, Ken Weaver. Today starts off very differently for me. You know what I was doing just before the show started? I should have been doing show prep, but you know what I was doing? Let me give you guys a piece of advice. If you think you want to buy a house, Ken?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you bought a house?
That would have been 2017.
In beautiful Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody tell you about 24 before you bought it? Did they warn you?
No.
No. See,
I already knew about it.
Yes. Well, but you got to do what you got to do. When did you come here?
2015.
Okay. All right. So, did you rent before purchase?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, you just slept on the couch.
Jackson, this is a grown-up conversation. I don't feel like I feel like you should go to the other room and play with the kids because this is a grown-up conversation.
Okay, catch you later.
And I mean, get your dad on the phone and we can talk to him about when he bought a house. You know what I mean? Now, back to what I was saying. Ken?
Yes?
I now have a new theory. If you want to stop the home buying process, go ahead and get the inspection of the house you're buying on the front end and just read that. I was just reading my home inspection.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I mean, but it's not anything that you wouldn't expect from a house that was built in 1960.
It's not a deal breaker.
No, it's not. But, a good home inspection, and thank you to Bruce and the team that inspected my home. A good home inspection is going to, that's what you want, right? You want the person to list every little bitty thing that they found that is out of the norm, that is out of the ordinary. But I'm sitting here reading this home inspection report, and I'm like, my goodness gracious, I should just rent for the rest of my life so that I don't have to be responsible for any of this stuff.
That's what you do run into,
Well,
unfortunately.
Well, but as we spoke about late in the show yesterday, the only concerning thing might be a little bit of a, apparently in Tennessee, radon is an issue.
Yeah, that's naturally occurring radiation.
Yes, and we got some radon levels that we have to deal with, but remediation is always an opportunity and possibility, and we're probably going to handle that. And then off we go to the races in terms of buying this house. But you know what? If I read enough of this report, I can't let who get a hold of this report because it'll freak certain people out.
Who?
Not you and not Ken. Who do you think? Mrs. Beasley? No, I don't think so. She can't read.
Mrs. What about is Munford going to be okay?
You almost said his right name. Good for you, Jackson. Way to go on the bit. Munson doesn't know how to read either, but he's going to be just fine. Everybody will be just fine. I just can't let certain people read this report.
How high are the radon levels?
It's 6.7.
Is that high?
Does that mean something to you? Oh, I didn't even think about that. It's 6.7.
Oh.
Anything above the recommendation or I don't know that it's a requirement. I think it's a recommendation that anything above 3.9, then you engage in a certain, they call it radon remediation, which is basically they take a big fan and they pull the air that's got radon out of there and they bring in, the radon
Fresh
comes
air,
in from.
You're getting a fresh air house.
I guess. I
Don't
know.
have that new house smell.
It was built in 1960. It does not have a new house smell. It's got a, hey, we've been around since 1960 house smell.
It's got that irradiated smell.
Yes, Jackson. It's got the radiated smell to it.
Built in the 60s.
1960. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it.
100 years after Matt was born.
The stories the walls could tell in that old house.
Old 65-year-old house. That's right. It's seen a thing or two. I bet there's been a lot of cussing and drinking in that house. Y'all think?
It's got secret rooms.
Oh, it does have secret rooms, which is a little bit freaky deaky, but that's okay too.
What are you going to do, Brother Murphy? Some night you hear something coming from one.
How's my shed looking?
Your shed looks awesome.
Does it have radon?
Not to my knowledge. I assume there's some radon coming into the shed because it comes out of the ground, Jackson. But I think
You can get them
good.
levels checked.
I think you're all good. Your guest room is going to be A-okay. We'll let you know when it's ready. Don't you worry. Sometime after we move in, I'll give you the thumbs up, and we're ready for you, Jackson. I'll let you know. But don't call us. We're busy. We'll
About
let you know.
2032.
We'll let you know when it's ready. By the way, you left your bag of goodies here last night, I noticed.
I know, I forgot them. I left them in here. I stayed in here, and I ate a good portion of them during President Trump's address, and then I went to work on something else and never came back in here.
I got a beef with Brother Cameron.
What is your beef?
He's trying to kill us.
Oh, those pecans.
With
those
those
pecans.
pecans. Oh, my gosh.
The
His
pecans.
His wife, she apparently doesn't like us.
It's pecans.
Oh, they're delicious.
Oh, they're so
Oh,
good.
they're so good. No, there are pecans and there's pecans. These are pecans,
Yeah, they're
Matt.
pecans, and, man, they taste exquisite.
A pecan is something that you resort to going to the bathroom in when you have no other opportunity to go to the bathroom.
It came with one of those, too.
Well, it did. That's true. It was a nice commemorative 10.
Who gets to keep the 10? Do we have to give that back to
I don't.
Brother
That's
Cameron?
between. That is between you two. Y'all can figure that out. I would defer to you, Ken,
Does it still
Somebody
have
ate the
pecans
rest of
in
the pecans.
Oh,
because you left them in here. What
I
do you
wasn't supposed to
expect?
take them home. They were for the team.
Damn radio station. Radio station is magic. If you want to let any food disappear, leave it in the radio station fridge. And poof, I'm surprised that coffee cake or whatever it is has been in the fridge for as long as it has. Have y'all seen that?
I didn't know it was in there.
There's a whole, like, I don't know, coffee cake or cinnamon rolls or something or another. It's got some it looks like cream cheese frosting on top. I've thought about taking a bite.
Dude,
But-
it's just like those, animal kingdom videos of when lions start, picking on a zebra or something. That's what radio stations are like on free food.
Good gracious. I'll tell you what. And you better jump on it. If somebody says, hey, there's free fruit in the bag, you better go. Yeah. Don't even let them finish their sentence because the wolves will have descended. The jackals will have descended upon the break room, and they tear that stuff apart.
I'm a proud break room jackal.
Good for you, Jackson. Know your role.
I know my cohorts, too, but I'm not going to out them.
Your fellow jackals?
Yes.
Well, jackals of a feather stick together,
Yes.
as the saying goes.
One of them's right behind me, Ken Weaver.
How? I mean, I'll eat the food if I know where it's coming from. If I don't know where it's coming from, I won't eat it.
Yeah, I see. That's the problem when you get in. When you come in whenever we do, you don't know where it came from or
Or if
how
it's
long
been here since this
there.
morning.
Yeah,
Well, this morning's fine.
in some cases.
Unless it's some sort of, I don't want any tater salad sitting out.
Yeah. Whew. You got to be careful of that.
You got to be careful with tater salad. Although my grandma would put the tater salad out on the back porch on the freezer during the heat of the summer.
Oh, yeah?
And it would just sit there all day. And then she would bring it back in for food that night after lunch. I mean, and we would eat it again.
Interesting.
Got a little radon in it. It's good. Good seasoning.
Can't imagine why we had stomach difficulties. Jeff says that house has don't eat the paint chips. Well, I don't plan on it. I told him not to do the lead paint test. I don't care. I mean, I'm serious.
Right.
What am I going to do? Am I going to take off 4 coats of paint to get to the lead paint that was there? I think I'm causing more problems than it's worth. I don't plan on licking nor eating the walls.
I went to school in schools that had lead paint and asbestos,
And that explains a lot.
and I'm still okay.
And you've got that fetching goatee
Got
beard.
a big old beard
oh, yeah.
because of it.
Looking
Had it
great.
ever since I was 10 years old.
Kevin writes in and says a 6.7 radon level is significantly above the U.S. EPA action level of 4.0, indicating a risk of lung cancer from long-term exposure, requiring immediate attention and action, like follow-up testing and professional radon mitigation to vent the gas outside, as this level shows a clear danger and necessitates fixing your home to protect your health.
I should have said anything about it, Brother Murphy.
Actually, I think USDA, it's an action. I guess, yeah, you have to act at 4.0. 3.9, you're fine. 4.0, you got to act. 6.7, it's above it. 6.7.
6'7".
6.7. 3816 says, I look even more forward to the first segment of the Matt Murphy Show now knowing that we'll get some good back and forth between Jackson and Matt. Well, I got some bad news for you coming in the 2026 calendar year there, 3816. Oh, yeah, Jackson, I meant to tell you. I got some bad news for you, too.
I'm getting traded?
No, you're abandoning us next week, and I don't like it. I'm mad at you.
No, you're not.
I don't like it. I don't care what
We
your
don't like
excuse is.
sharing, Brother Jackson.
No.
This is Matt's fault.
By the way, Ken, you and I, you were your ears burning a few minutes ago? Jackson and I were talking about you right before the show. Speaking
it
of
was
sharing, I asked Jackson, I said, listen, Ken, I'm not faulting you.
Okay.
You're just doing the news, and you're dedicated to the task. But I got to tell you that when I hear you talking to Chad, I'm like, Ken's cheating. And I asked Jackson, I said, do you feel like when you listen to Ken and Chad talking to each other that he's cheating on us? And you know what Jackson said? What'd you say, Jackson?
I said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What about Brother Chris Hand? I talked back and forth with Brother Chris Hand.
Him too. I
We
don't
just hear you with
Yeah, we don't hear Chris. I mean, I'm still in bed when Chris is on the radio. I don't get up till like 1 o'clock.
I wish I could do that.
Well, you're getting to it. I mean, you just.
Dude, I still go to bed early.
What?
I just do, man. I
can't.
try to stay up late. And I just, man, I'm telling you. All right, this is 17-year-old Ken Weaver.
Uh-huh.
Back in 1985, you old folks had it right.
Yeah.
Going to bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was crazy back then.
Like, what are you doing with your lives?
Man, I love getting a bunch of sleep, man.
How much you get, you think?
Well, now I get, on average, I guarantee you, I get a straight 6.5 to 7 hours every night.
That's not a lot of sleep, kid.
It's better than 2.5 or 3.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I think you're supposed to get 8.
Well, I got to get up.
You know,
But I'm talking about like straight, uninterrupted sleep. At some point, I do have to get up.
I stopped. I had a Fitbit for a while that would monitor your sleep patterns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it would tell you like when you were awake and when you were asleep and when you were in deep sleep versus, I mean, it would tell you all the particulars. I don't know how it did it, but it would do it.
Yeah.
And I had to stop with it because I thought I was getting 8 hours of sleep a night and I was only really getting about 4.5. And the rest of the time I was up. I just didn't realize it. And it was depressing me, Ken.
Well, did you feel okay?
No, I haven't felt okay since like 1998.
That's older than me.
I haven't.
I know this. I never had to take naps until my first child was born.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I started taking naps.
You see, Jackson, you'll get to a point in your life, and I think Ken can identify with this. I mean, Ken's more fit than I am, but I think he can identify with it. You get to a point in your life where you remember a time when you would wake up and feel good,
Oh, yes.
but that doesn't really happen anymore. At 52, and I admit this is way too early, y'all.
Oh, it's different.
It is a different deal where you wake up and you wonder what's going to hurt today. Mystery pains are a reality, my friend. Are you checking out on me, Jackson? Don't you check out on me.
I got another few years before I have to worry about this.
You better start worrying. I'm dedicated. We're getting in shape in 2026, and you agreed to it.
I did.
Hey, I'm up to 20 push-ups a day, boys.
Ooh, how about that? I got to get the upper body
Want me to
back.
jump down and do 20 right now?
Give me 20, Weaver.
Nah, the floor is too dirty.
25. I tell you what, we should have gone to break at 20, but it's now 25. Give me 25, Weaver. It's 325 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. When United Structural Systems comes to your home, you get problem solvers. They provide peace of mind to their customers, the homeowners. That's you. You don't get anybody at USS that tries to upsell you on anything. That's not what they do. That's not their business model. They come out when you've noticed an issue with your home. Perhaps it's a waterproofing issue where you smell a moldy or musty smell. Maybe it's a concern that you have with your basement or your crawl space. Perhaps you've noticed that there are bows in the walls. There are doors that are sticking. This can all be a result of foundation shifting, and it can be a concern in Tennessee because we've got such interesting topography around here. It can cause that shifting of an unnatural level, and that can cause a problem long-term with the foundation of your home. Let's solve this right now by calling USS. USSTN.com. As I say, they're problem solvers, and homeowners simply trust USS and have since 1994. Serving Middle Tennessee, 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or USSTN.com. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Volunteer Outfitters. Volunteer Outfitters located on New Shackle Island Road in Hendersonville. I tell you the directions because they're pretty easy. You go up Vietnam Veterans Parkway, get off on New Shackle Island, take a left, and you'll find Volunteer Outfitters on the left. They're just down the road from all of those Nashville high prices. But they've got some of the great name brands that you've come to know and love. Drake is a part of that brand name collection. Huck, Extra Tough Boots, and so many others. And friends, speaking of footwear, you know, their 15% off deal on footwear is a daily deal, right? You don't have to wait on that one. But now for the Christmas season, buy one, get 50% off until Christmas. You heard me correctly. 15% off every day. But now you buy one pair, you get another pair at 50% off. That's a half-price discount. Southern Marsh, Extra Tough, Huck, Orca, Drake, Durango, Muck. These are all brand names you'll find at Volunteer Outfitters. Shop for the holidays. You've got a couple of minutes. You better get over there to Volunteer Outfitters. Once again, just down the road from all those high prices. Call them if you have any questions, 615-826-9337, and I'll see you at Volunteer Outfitters.
It's 3:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast, traffic updates in 5 minutes. And after a 6-day manhunt, the New York Post is reporting investigators have identified the suspect in the Brown University mass shooting. 2 students killed, 9 wounded when that shooter opened fire on campus. Police have issued an arrest warrant, according to the Post, but are withholding the suspect's name for now. They say this person could be anywhere. President Trump in the Oval Office this afternoon signing an executive order reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug, opening up opportunities for research into medical applications, possibly loosening regulation.
Hopefully this reclassification, which, by the way, polls at 82%, will help many of those patients live a far better life.
President Trump stressing that the reclassification on the federal level does not allow recreational use. State law still supersedes that in those states. Here in Tennessee, 4 children are safe after being rescued from what police say was a human trafficking ring in Smithville, about 65 miles east of Nashville. Police say the victims were forced into labor at a Mexican restaurant and market to pay off smuggling debts. The investigation began when police say a girl ran away for help. 2 men are under arrest, with more arrests expected. And lawmakers in Tennessee are considering a plan to help schools spot trouble early. The bill would create a statewide system for teachers to report signs such as students who might want to harm themselves. Maybe they're using drugs or they're bullying other students. Logged concerns would trigger immediate review by a threat assessment team. Non-compliant schools could lose state funding. Supporters say it could prevent tragedies by acting sooner. And reports say that NASCAR veteran Greg Biffle, his wife, 2 kids, and 2 pilots were the ones on board that plane that crashed into a fireball upon landing there north of Charlotte today. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, over here at the downtown split, we've got a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder. That's going to be going 40 westbound there at exit 211. Then in Donaldson, a crash, partially blocking the off-ramp Briley Parkway northbound to Lebanon Pike. And in Bellshire, we got a crash Dickerson Pike just north of Briley Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. Grace Point Healthcare can help you feel better this time of year. Now's the time of year where you get the cold or the sniffles or even the flu, for goodness sake. And you don't want to wait a week or two to go to the doctor, right? Grace Point Healthcare will never make you do that. At Grace Point Healthcare, they believe in a timely appointment, and at Grace Point, you get it. Grace Point Healthcare also believes that your doctor and patient relationship should be sacrosanct. They don't allow insurance companies to dictate the manner in which they treat their patients, which is why they are a direct pay primary care provider. Now, you're invited to file with your insurance company for reimbursement after the fact. That's the way that it ought to be. It's a better process, friends. It's why we say they're modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way, because this truly is the old-fashioned way of doing business. In Franklin, convenient to anywhere within the sound of my voice. Call them today and see if you can get in today or tomorrow. 599-6868, 599-6868. Ask about the Smart Care Plan when you call Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. For many within the sound of my voice, it is happening. Your hair thinning, your crown disappearing, and hair loss perhaps has you feeling like you're losing your identity. Well, I've got good news. It's an incredible and simple one-day treatment. It starts growing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE treatment from Advanced Hair. We've seen the pills and the lotions that come with monthly subscriptions, and that's all well and good, friends. It might help you retain what you have, but it never will help you regrow what you have lost. At Advanced Hair, their state-of-the-art facility, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It is guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and you could be next. Give them a call this holiday season. Treat yourself to a Christmas gift of hair. 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR, or online at advancedhair.com. You get a free consultation, and if you qualify, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts from Advanced Hair. Hey, by the way, my boy Bruce is listening. What's up, Bruce? How you doing? 37 minutes after the hour. Bruce is with Tennessee Valley Property Inspections, by the way. Help me out. That's just a little shout out from me to him. Good guy. And his wife makes an incredible, I don't even know, what was it, like a cinnamon roll, I don't know. It was delicious. The cream cheese icing was absolutely fabulous. And that was just a bonus. That was just a bonus.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, it was so. And then Bruce laughed at me because Ken, I was there and they were doing the home inspection. He was trying to tell me what was going on, and I kept reaching over. They had the lid of the rolls off, and some of the icing had stuck to the lid, and I was just kind of reaching over there with my finger, and just let me get that off of there, and just pop that right in the old puss. Yeah, you heard me. 615-737-99.
It is that time of year.
Yeah, well, I just, Keith at Contours loves this time of year. He said, y'all will be back in January. I mean, I'm just, I'm just trying to get to January, and then it's on.
Yes, sir.
That's the way I feel about it. It's on in January, y'all. It's on. I don't know what else to say about the sad issue involving Greg Biffle, except that, I mean, look, I am regularly amazed every time I get on an aircraft. And, we joke about it and about, what do you do on aircrafts? And I have this ritual that I go through, which is all just a way of feeling better about the aircraft and the airplane or whatever. But I am regularly amazed at our ability to jump on a little tube of steel, or whatever it is, aluminum, a frame with some engines on it, and go from here to there in like the blink of an eye. I mean, if you think about it long enough, it remains fascinating that we can do any of this at all. That we have the ability to defy gravity through physics and human engineering and go up into the air and just defy logic and all sense of rational thought. And there we are, 35,000 feet in the air, traveling at 500 miles an hour, and we're getting from here to there in 5 hours, which used to take 5 months. Are you kidding me? And that was like 100 years ago, y'all. It was not that long ago when we did not have internal combustion engines, not to mention jet engines. And so obviously it's awful and it's a tragedy when something like this happens. But it is a part of that benefit and that human experience. But Greg Biffle, reportedly his wife, his 2 kids, 2 pilots, dead. As a result of a plane crash that happened in North Carolina earlier today. Very sad. 3999 writes that, Ken, you were saying earlier that the report was the plane flipped.
Yeah, the report was that the plane flipped before it crashed, and then when it crashed, it burst into a ball of fire.
Yeah. I'm being told that the possibility exists that if it was a twin-engine plane, and I don't know, that if one of the engines goes out, then it's in the dynamics of the plane that it would want to do a roll. I'm trying to not get out in front of my skis and say things that I don't know enough about, but a couple of you have indicated that might be a possibility. I don't know. I don't know. I know that
had some guy earlier today say he was a pilot and said that the engine controls on some of these jets. I guess the engine controls the flaps, which could
cause that.
You would think that could cause that.
Okay. Well, I mean, one way or the other. I mean, the airport is going to be closed. There will be a full investigation through the NTB. What is it?
NTSB.
NTSB. Thank you, Ken. And then we'll figure out from there exactly what they analyze and what they believe happened. But your heart goes out to the Biffle family, and we're thinking about those folks. I mean, and if you don't know who Greg Biffle is, he was a NASCAR. I mean, if you're a NASCAR fan, you probably know who he is. He drove NASCAR for some time. He had, he was just an established driver within the NASCAR community. He left to be closer to family and friends because he wanted to spend more time with his children. Still did a lot of racing and was involved in the racing world intimately, and he will be missed in that community, obviously, and your thoughts go out to that family. The House passed an interesting bill regarding school lunches. The House of Representatives earlier this week passed the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act of 2025, which is an effort to restore whole milk to the U.S. nutrition program. The bill passed the Senate in November. It passed the House December 15. With the passage in the House, the bill now heads to President Donald J. Trump's desk for his signature. Now, who knew? I did not. I have no kids in the school. Well, I have, my kids are perfect because they're made up in my head. But beginning in the 2011-2012 school year, the U.S. Department of Agriculture limited whole milk available via the National school lunch program to flavored and non-flavored low-fat and skim milk varieties following decades of concerns about fat content in school meals. Skim milk contains less than 0.5% milk fat. Low-fat milk contains 1%. Whole milk contains 3.5% milk fat. The Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act modifies the USDA restrictions, allowing flavored and unflavored whole milk to be provided as well. The milk can either be organic or non-organic. According to Representative Glenn Thompson, Republican for Pennsylvania, I mean, these are the hard issues, right? I've worked for a decade to restore whole milk in our school cafeterias, which have been limiting healthy choices for students, but that changes today, he said. Whole milk is an essential building block for a well-rounded and balanced diet. Students should have the option to choose the milk they love. All right, a couple of things. One, milk sucks.
Oh, come on.
Milk sucks. Chocolate milk sucks less.
We never had whole milk when I was in school.
Really?
No.
We did.
Have you had any whole milk lately, Ken?
Yeah.
You like it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Jackson?
Not lately.
Like drinking cream.
Yeah.
You a boiled custard guy?
Boiled custard? Is that
Great
like,
Christmas beverage.
what?
I'll do that. Send me a recipe.
What are you talking about?
You've never had boiled custard?
No, Jackson. I've never had boiled custard. What?
I'd try it.
When you say boiled custard, I think it is a pudding.
It pretty much is. It's delicious.
Yeah.
You've never had it? Really?
I mean, if I have, I don't know.
They sell it around the holidays. It's literally right next to the eggnog.
I mean, I've had eggnog.
It's a similar it's a sweeter eggnog.
Eggnog is only good if eggnog has a lot of whiskey in it.
I'll try bourbon.
A little bourbon in that.
I make it better north of the border.
No, I've
Is
never.
that a Bill Clinton impression?
I don't know. I don't know what we were doing.
Ken, what
I
were
was
you
just-
trying
I was
to
just, I was just rolling with it, Jackson.
I smash McConnell.
Turtle McConnell.
I didn't say that.
I didn't really know what we were doing, but I just went with it. It's that kind of day for me. I hate milk. Hate it. Hate milk. I don't
know why do you hate milk?
Milk is for baby cows, Jackson.
Oh, you're going all PETA on us?
No, I'm just saying.
No.
Milk is not for us.
It may not be.
Milk is not for us. Milk is for baby cows. If you want some milk that's for you, that doesn't come from cows. Milk is for baby. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I think milk's delicious.
Really? I can get, and before all you calcium Nazis, I've done this show before. Don't come at me. You calcium Nazis are already out there.
What about your bones?
Look, here they come. Oh, man, they're all over. Look, 3032 went there. Most alcoholics don't drink milk.
I love our listeners. Man.
How the hell did I
Crack me
become?
up.
I became an alcoholic because I don't drink milk. Is that true?
Streets are saying.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I've seen The Big Lebowski. Really, the only time. Actually, I take that back. I drink milk if it's in a White Russian. Now, I'll drink that milk.
And that's good for your bones.
It is good for my bones. I get my calcium in other ways. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
You can get calcium in pill form. Y'all know that? And you don't have to drink that nasty milk. I don't like milk. I don't like whole milk. I don't like 0.5% or skim or fat-free. I don't like any of it. Now, chocolate milk's different. That's like a nice little creamy dessert. You put enough sugar in anything and I'll drink that. Kathy says humans are the only species that continue to drink milk after being weaned from their mother. That's what I'm saying. Kathy's with me on it. I'm anti-milk, anti-milk, anti-milk.
What about butter?
I'm fine with butter.
Yeah.
That's milk.
I don't care.
What about cheese?
I don't drink it. I'm not anti-dairy. I'm anti-milk.
What about yogurt?
I'm not anti-dairy.
All
I'm
these
anti-milk.
things have milk in them.
Well, okay. Well, that's fine. Are you trying to call me a hypocrite?
Yes.
Good luck.
What about milk chocolate?
Wait a minute. When's the last time you drank butter? No, I might be asking the wrong person.
Yeah, clearly you've never been to the movies with me.
Brother Jackson just. Brother Jackson just turning that thing up, boy.
Do I need to? Steve Ansel is on the line. He joins us.
yeah.
Steve was our
Steve.
correspondent from over in North Carolina back in the Hurricane Helene days, and Steve listening in and wanted to contribute on the Greg Biffle is a great loss, particularly a great loss to the North Carolina community. And I'm not going to steal Steve's thunder, but I think I know what he's going to talk about. Steve, good afternoon.
Hey, Matt. Yeah, it's a big tragedy for us. So he was a pilot. It sounds like he was not flying today. It sounds like one of his other pilots were flying the plane. But the airport is about an hour and a half east of us, and it services probably 3/4 of the NASCAR drivers. We do a hot air balloon festival there right next to that airport every year, and a lot of the drivers come out for that. But what I wanted to talk about was he was also a helicopter pilot, and he had his own helicopter. And during the Hurricane Helene relief, he was one of the helicopters that was flying supplies here into Fairview and into Swannanoa. And we'll never forget him for that. He was one of the helicopters that was literally plucking people out of fields and stuff to get them back to civilization.
Mm-hmm.
He was just huge, not just in what he did physically and with his helicopter, but also financially. He donated to our community heavily, and I think everybody here, the first thing that we thought of when we heard the news wasn't really racing. It was what he did for us.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, that's important, and I'm glad you called to mention it, because I remember you telling me what an incredible guy he was and what a great heart he had during the aftermath of Helene. The fact that he gave so much of his time and energy, obviously as a helicopter pilot and beyond, and it's good that you bring that back up.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I hated to use the special phone line, but I thought that was important that it be noted today. And I don't live there anymore, but welcome to Mount Pleasant. So,
why? Thank you. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's you know what? I was using the phrase last night: plenty of slip between the cup and the lip. And hopefully we'll get across the finish line. We got a relatively good. Steve, thank you for the call, and thank you for the reminder of what a great human being Greg Biffle was off the racetrack. I mean, obviously we know him because of his time on the racetrack, but the measure of that man happened particularly in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, and it's good that you note that. Now, on the other front, great report from an inspection perspective, but I got to deal with the radon. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. If you have any thoughts on milk, give me a call.
I like it.
Ken likes it. Jackson, a big fan. Murphy, not so much. And once again, this has nothing to do with butter, and I don't know, every time we have a conversation about milk, somebody wants to talk about butter. We're not talking about butter. We're talking about milk.
And calcium.
And calcium,
They want to
that's
talk
fine.
about calcium,
Well,
too.
that's fine, too.
Got brittle bones, Matt Murphy.
I got good bones, thank you very much. Come here, we'll arm wrestle. Arm wrestle?
Yeah, left on left.
I'll do that. I'll do that. All right, we'll do that now on Super Talk 97 WTN. Hello, friends. I'm going to answer all of your milk questions that are coming in fast and furious on the Super Text line in just a moment. And there are, believe it or not, a lot of them. People are getting very angry at me based on my position on milk. I'm not a fan. I am a fan of the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Listen, if I had brittle bones, I don't know that Dr. Mitch and Dr. Ashley and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute could help me there, but they can help you in just about everywhere that it hurts. I mean, if you've got a pain in your body, they can help you live a pain-free life through the spinal decompression technology that they have available to them at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They're a fine sponsor of Nincompoops in the News. I mean, they brought us the Nincompoops in the News trophy for the week, won this week by one Ken Weaver, by the way. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley in all sincerity, they're my doctors, and they've just introduced brand new hydrowave therapy to Nashville and to Tennessee. That's right, the first in the state to have a new hydrowave device. It stimulates stem cells for cellular healing, repair, and restoration with no surgery, no needles, no injections, and no downtime. Find out more about the hydrowave when you make the call that so many others have made to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or painisbad.com. Again, painisbad.com. I have been a spokesperson for King and Associates for some time now. That's your home and auto experts in Middle Tennessee. Those are two of your biggest investments, obviously. And at King and Associates Insurance, they protect both with coverage that fits your life and your budget. I have now become a client of King and Associates as well. As a new soon-to-be homeowner, I knew that I needed the best when it came to homeowners insurance, and I've been talking about King & Associates, and frankly, friends, why would I go anywhere else? Now, if you have a growing family or you're shopping for better automobile rates, or if you're looking for a home yourself, they make it simple. Emery and his team, these are great people. No pushy salespeople, just honest advice, personalized service, and policies that make sense. They're local at King. I love that. They're independent. I love that. They work with you, not the big insurance companies. I love all of those things. Visit tkinginsurance.com, tkinginsurance.com, or call. Tell them that I sent you. New client, spokesperson, Matt Murphy, 329-8121, 329-8121. King and Associates Insurance, protecting what matters most.
Reports say that authorities have identified the suspected gunman in the Brown University shooting. We've got that story and more at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A couple of things. Okay, look. I did not have it on my bingo card that I would just offer you my feelings on milk, and it would turn into multiple people on the super text line accusing me of being an alcoholic. But that's what's happened. I'm just here to tell you. And here's the thing, Ken, is not just multiple people saying alcoholics don't drink milk. You must be an alcoholic. Now I've got one. 7051 says, I'm an alcoholic and I don't drink milk. So stop. What are you doing? Well, it must be right, Murphy. I don't drink milk. I'm an alcoholic. You must be an alcoholic, too, because you don't drink milk. No. That's not how any of this works.
That's not how alcoholism works.
I don't think. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe it all hinges on milk consumption. And then, even worse, I just had a guy text me and said that he drinks over a gallon of milk a day.
Now, that's too much.
That's a lot of milk.
That is a hell of a lot of milk.
Strong bones, though.
Good gracious.
That's a lot of milk.
I mean, you're peeing yogurt, pudding, cheese, Limburger. Back in a moment.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And reports say authorities have identified the suspected gunman in the Brown University shooting. They've issued a warrant, but they're not releasing the name. They say this person could be anywhere. And they're also investigating possible ties to the killing of that MIT professor earlier this week. It is being widely reported that NASCAR driver Greg Biffle, his wife Christina, and their 2 children were killed in that plane crash near Statesville, North Carolina today. That airport just north of Charlotte. The Cessna jet reportedly flipped and caught fire shortly after takeoff this morning. The FAA and NTSB are investigating the cause. President Trump in the Oval Office today signed an executive order reclassifying marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 controlled substance with legitimate medical uses.
We have people begging for me to do this, people that are in great pain.
Move opening up opportunities for research into medical applications, possibly loosening regulation. But President Trump stressed the reclassification does not allow recreational use on the federal level. State laws still govern that. Right now, about 65 miles east of Nashville, a human trafficking investigation in Smithville has led to the rescue of 4 children, according to officials who say the victims were smuggled into the U.S. and coerced into working at a local Mexican restaurant to pay off smuggling debt. The operation uncovered after police say one of the kids ran away to get help from police. 2 suspects in custody, and that case remains active. Tennessee lawmakers have introduced a measure aimed at student safety. It would require schools to train staff and use a system to track behavioral warning signs of things like bullying, self-harm. Logged concerns would trigger immediate review by a threat assessment team. Non-compliant schools could lose state funding, according to the language of this legislation. And a Knoxville couple is alive to tell their terrifying story of survival during an apartment fire. They jumped from their 3rd-floor balcony. Darren and Melissa Brewster telling WVLT TV.
And I just grabbed the window sill and just went for it. It was a very hard decision to make that jump until you're left with no decision. And then it was extremely easy.
Off-duty firefighter Colby Gable helped to break their fall, but they were still injured. The fire displaced 15 people. It destroyed 10 units. Money news, today's latest snapshot of the economy, better than expected, says ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous.
We were expecting inflation to show that consumer prices rose 3.1% last month compared to the same time last year, but instead we saw consumer prices rose 2.7%. And if you strip out food and energy prices and you get to what they call the core inflation rate, it was actually 2.6%. So this report coming in a lot cooler than expected.
Yeah, apparently essentials like food and rent and energy prices were up more than 1% in this report. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, a couple of problems on Briley Parkway in two locations. First, Bellshire, there's a crash eastbound before 24. Then in Donaldson, a crash. Off-ramp is partially blocked. That's the Briley Parkway northbound off-ramp to Lebanon Pike. Over by the airport, got a crash reported. 40 westbound just past the Briley Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, of all of the things that I thought would get me in hot water with the listening audience, my disgust at you milk drinkers was not on the list, but it apparently has gotten me in a tremendous amount of hot water and has given carte blanche for the super texters to allow the accusations to fly with regard to why I do not care for milk. It is 7 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thank you for being with us. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. One of the things that many of you like about this radio show is we're like, as they say, a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I suppose today is one of those days. On this Thursday, December 18, 2025, it is episode 946 of our gatherings. That means Friday's 947, 48, 49. Oh, Wednesday, when Jackson will not be here. Next Wednesday will be our 950th episode of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Well on our way to 1,000. Will Jackson be here for 1,000? Who knows? It's up in the air, 6-7.
Matt, we can do this again, but this is your fault.
My fault.
Yes.
How so?
Because you told me you were taking off that day. So I took off, and then I was asked to cover something else. I said, sure, because I was like, oh, Matt's not going to be here. I'll come in for a couple hours.
So Jackson's working on Wednesday.
I am.
Wednesday, guys. He just doesn't want to be with you.
You didn't want to be either.
I'm here. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm here.
You were trying to take off. Your original plan was, we had a plan, and mine worked, and yours didn't.
You know what? You're remembering this different.
I am not remembering this differently.
No, you are. Because you asked me if I was taking Christmas Eve off, and I said I'm not sure. I know I'm taking the day after Christmas off. This was before they told us that the day after Christmas was an official company holiday. Remember that? When they told us that, I said, I'm definitely taking Friday off, and I'm taking the next week off. So I don't know what I'm doing on Christmas Eve, but I'm going to ask Cameron about it, is what I said.
And then we got the day after Christmas off, and you go, yeah, I'm not working Christmas Eve.
I did not. I deny it. Go back and listen to the tape.
There is no
not on tape. Oh, well, then I win.
Ken, what do you think happened?
I just do the news.
No help.
Good.
No help from Ken.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So I made the proclamation. There was a story that made the rounds in news circles regarding whole milk. And apparently it has been an effort on the part of Glenn Thompson, who is a representative out of Pennsylvania, Republican out of Pennsylvania, who has sponsored a bill for the last however many years that would bring whole milk back to our schools. 0152 says, no show prep is below your usual high standards. You've done the milk bit before. Still the best show going. Look, I wasn't going to milk the bit. Hello. I wasn't going to milk the bit for as much as I am until the nasty comments started rolling in on the super text line. So 0152, you've got to blame the folks out there that are accusing me of Well, any number of things, to include being an alcoholic. And now I got alcoholics telling me that they don't drink milk. I got alcoholics telling me that they do drink milk. I've got alcoholics telling me that milk makes a great chaser.
Ugh.
Yeah, it does for real hot sauce.
Alcoholics, Bob writes, might not drink milk, but beer drinkers do.
That is just a nasty tummy you got going there.
There's nothing better than a big glass of milk after waking up in the middle of the night.
That'll just make you get up in an hour.
9009 says, as much as I detest to say this, it actually sounds like Action Jackson has more veracity in his statement than Matt does with his I deny it. I never filed for Christmas. Did you ever file for Christmas Eve off?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
And so you had to go to the office and unfile it to go work somewhere else?
No, they just said, could you do this?
Uh-huh.
Because the times are different. It's not like I'm going to be on the air at the same time y'all are, just not over here.
You know, in my heart, you are. In my heart, it's like you are. It hurts my soul, Jackson. We're the only mammals on the planet that drinks another mammal's secretion. If you think about it, it's pretty gross. I agree with you. I don't disagree. Whole milk is absolutely essential to your body. You need the fat. Low fat, the only other percentages that are really bad for you. As you get older, Matt, you're going to need it. I drink with protein. You do not need milk for fat. But you don't need milk for anything. You can get what you receive through milk from other sources. 4963, I appreciate the fact that you like milk. And if you want to drink milk, nobody's telling you not to drink milk. I'm telling you that I don't like milk. I think milk is gross. I think milk is for baby cows. And I can get everything that is available in milk in other sources. Secondarily, as has been repeated, I just would suggest that we're the only species on planet Earth that continues to drink milk into adulthood, and you got to think why that is. Now, chocolate milk, I don't consider chocolate milk to be like milk. Chocolate milk's more like a dessert, and it's delicious, and I enjoy that.
There's a study that says fat cheese and fat cream holds off dementia.
Huh.
I bet you fat milk does too.
Maybe so. 6398 says, coming from a true alcoholic, moonshine and milk, they're great together.
Ooh, I bet milk would be great with that oatmeal cookie moonshine I had last weekend.
Kevin says, the best part of the milk is the nipple. Kevin! Kevin!
Matt, do you read these super texts before you say them into a microphone?
Kevin!
Matt!
What? I didn't do it. Kevin did it.
Proofread your super text.
Y'all blame Kevin.
Well, just ask a baby cow.
John says, I'm a lot older than you, Matt. I drink about 2 or 2.5 gallons of milk a week. I love it. I've not drank alcohol in 30-plus years, but I've drank loads of milk. Milk is the best thing to ease. Okay, well, anyway, you know what? I'm going to let Ryan put a capper on the milk talk here. A lot of accusations are flying about who's an alcoholic, who's not an alcoholic based on milk drinking. I got the Alcoholics Brigade coming out telling me, no, I'm an alcoholic and I drink plenty of milk, which is an odd proclamation to make, but whatever. Ryan, what do you think?
Hey, Matt, I'm just saying I think that milk is very disgusting. My wife can drink a whole glass of milk at dinner. I don't know how she does it, but it's definitely gross. I wanted to talk real quick about the reclassification of marijuana that Trump is doing.
Yeah.
I am a Middle Tennessean, through and through Middle Tennessee. I relocated to Florida 2 years ago, partly because of work and the other part because Florida has medical marijuana. And being a veteran, I don't like to take all the pills that the VA likes to give you. And so I think medical marijuana is far more beneficial. And it should be legal. I was hoping Trump would do a little bit more with the medical marijuana than just reclassifying it. I think that's a great step in the right direction. And if Tennessee were ever to get medical marijuana, I would come right back.
You know, I think it's on the way. I think you're going to see medical marijuana for almost every state in the union in the next 5 or 6 years. Sorry about that, Ryan. We're kind of losing you there, but I caught the gist of what you were saying. We're going to talk about that in just a moment after we finish up the milk talk. But, yeah, the president of the United States signed an executive order. I would like to see that codified through the Congress of the United States of America, as I would like to see most of his executive orders codified. So we'll get into that in just a second. I need to clean a couple of things up. Number one, I'm not telling anybody what to do with their own bodies. I don't tell people what to do with their own bodies. I don't believe that you or anyone else should be dictated to what you do or do not consume within your own body. Someone said, well, does that include drugs? Yes, that includes drugs. I understand why we have a war on drugs. I understand that, sadly, we have far too many drugs being manufactured in pharmaceutical industries and in laboratories. But that which is naturally occurring on planet Earth should not be, a government should not prevent those naturally occurring substances from being consumed by grown-ups who know the difference. Kids are a different deal, right? Obviously, a 10-year-old cannot make a mature enough decision to consume alcohol or cigarettes or marijuana or anything else. I'm not trying to get into a debate on drugs. I'm just telling you where I'm at on it. And I'm certainly not telling you that you ought not to be able to drink milk. Y'all have at it. Y'all can suckle it straight from the teat if you would like. If you would like.
Real fresh.
Our good friend Dusty Slay, who might be along next week, I hope he comes on Wednesday so Jackson misses him.
You better not.
Our good friend Dusty Slate has a great bit of a milk bit. He has a great milk bit because he's like, who was the first guy that decided that would be a good idea? Look at that cow over there. He's just going to town. I need to get me some of that, Dusty says. And he was like, well, you know, they didn't like start and end on cow milk. They probably tried a lot of different types.
Might have tried pig milk.
Dog milk. Goat milk.
Well, goat milk, yeah.
I mean, I think people still do goat milk, huh?
I believe they do.
I think so. And, you know, not so good now, is it? Everybody's going, oh, goat milk, that's gross. Well, now you know how I feel about cow milk.
I hear goat milk is real good in cheese. I don't know if I've ever had goat milk cheese, but I'd try it.
I mean, I would try almost any cheese. That's different.
It's not a glass of milk.
Yeah, I mean, really, let's be honest. Jackson, cheese really has nothing to do with milk. Well, let's just call it.
It's
like
dairy.
Nothing to do with it. Completely different genres. You eat one, you drink the other. Come on, Jackson, keep up. I mean, it really has nothing to do with one another. I don't even know why you brought it up.
What about yogurt?
I don't like yogurt either.
You don't like yogurt?
Not a big fan.
You don't like the gurt?
I'm not. I'm a cheese guy. Like the cheese. There's not a lot of food that I don't like, but do you do cottage cheese?
No.
Ugh. Oh, see? Why not? Why'd you make that face? Huh? Now we found something. See, it's different when it's you doing it. Everybody giving me hell, calling me an alcoholic because I don't drink milk, and I say cottage cheese. Ugh, gross. I saw what you did in there.
I like cottage cheese on tomatoes.
Mm.
Do you know you can make a whole bunch of stuff with cottage cheese? Like you can make casseroles with cottage cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I mean, milk in things, that's a different story. But just drinking a big old glass of milk, I'm not a fan. Okay, President Donald Trump signed an executive order rescheduling marijuana to a lower drug classification. It's a move that is long been overdue. Will ease federal restrictions on the drug without legalizing it at the federal level. Here's the lowdown. Donald Trump's executive order moves marijuana from a Schedule I drug, a classification reserved for those drugs that are highly susceptible to abuse and have no known medical use, to a Schedule III substance, which is a designation that suggests it poses a lower risk for abuse and may have some medical benefit. The directive is a victory for those growing cannabis or the cannabis industry and a broader movement to legalize marijuana, a cause that took off last a decade as many states voted to legalize the drug for medical and recreational purposes, despite the fact that it was listed as a Schedule I federally. Trump said in an Oval Office address, I want to emphasize that the order I'm about to sign is not the legalization of marijuana in any way, shape, or form, and in no way sanctions its use as a recreational drug. He was surrounded by medical doctors and public health officials when signing the executive order. I was intimately involved in the legalization of CBD oil in Alabama. I am proud to say that it was a cause that I took up with a number of other individuals at a time where I met someone, and I've told this story in the past. I met someone, a father by the name of Dustin Chandler, who happened to be a Hoover Police Department officer at the time, who had a daughter with a rare neurological condition called CDKL5. That condition caused seizures in Carly regularly and rapidly. As a matter of fact, it was believed that she was having between 250 and 300 mini seizures per day. CBD oil was effective enough to reduce that number from 250 to 300 to 10 or less per day. It was incredibly effective. That's CBD oil, and that comes directly from marijuana or cannabis. Obviously, the use of cannabis as a recreational drug has hurt its reputation as a legitimate medicinal remedy. But I think you have to separate the two. Now, for me, I don't tell people what to do in their own bodies. So a naturally occurring substance, I mean, obviously it alters your state, and we have to have rules regarding individuals, human beings, in an altered state of consciousness. So whether it's a pharmaceutical drug, whether it's a legal pill that your doctor has prescribed you and that you take that might alter your state of consciousness, maybe it's alcohol or any of the various forms, or marijuana for that sake. Anything that alters your consciousness has to be regulated in terms of what you're allowed to do while in that altered state of consciousness. So none of this has to do with driving. None of this has to do with functioning in public arenas. But it does have a lot to do with what you're allowed to do with your body in the privacy of your own home, for example. I do not believe that government should be so big that they dictate to grown people what they can and cannot consume in the privacy of their own homes. I don't. That's the end of that sentence. That's the end of that statement. I believe that government should stay out of your home and out of your bedroom as long as you are a law-abiding, consenting adult. Obviously, those that have not reached the age of majority notwithstanding, these things, in my opinion, should be legal, recreational, or otherwise. However, I beg of you, those of you that disagree with me on the recreational use, I understand that. I understand your position, even as I disagree with your position, because I think liberty dictates that we allow people to go to hell in their own fashion. Every man in a freedom-loving country deserves to go to hell in his own fashion, so long as they're not depriving others of life, liberty, and their own pursuit of happiness. Does that make sense to everyone? I hope so. That said, obviously, no, we're not talking about those that have not reached an age of maturity. But I beg those of you who disagree with me on the recreational front to stay with me on the medicinal front, the medical front. There have been, John Rose, good friend of the show, is 100% wrong on this issue. 100% wrong. Because John, I've heard him. He's said it on my show. I've heard him on Chris's show say the same. Well, I just need to see more studies. What more studies do you need to see, man? John, I understand that you want to play to your constituency and your base, and maybe that's not what you're doing. Maybe we just have a disagreement on this front. But you do not need to see more studies, because there have been studies for the last 40 years on the efficacy of marijuana when it comes to a variety of ailments. And I would like to see more studies come out on a federal level as a result of this reschedule. 615-737-9986. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy here for Contours. Keith, Stephanie, and the rest of the team at Contours, they want you to call them right now. Don't wait until after Christmas. Obviously, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Murphy, I got Christmas holiday plans, and I got eating to do, and I'll start in the January, New Year. Well, you need to go ahead and schedule it. One way or the other, I encourage you to call Contours LLC. Talk to the gang. They wish you a Merry Christmas. They understand that things happen over the holiday season. They know what time it is, but they also know that if it's time to get that fat off, the red light technology is the perfect solution to get rid of that stubborn fat that keeps you from looking your best. Think about it. They're also running a special right now called the Murph. Ask about that. They have a package, a belly buster special that will allow you to get in there and see what everyone's talking about for $99. That's pretty cool, too. get it off before Christmas and keep it off, or think about it in the new year and go ahead and schedule that appointment at Contours LLC. You'll love it. I'm telling you, I've done it, and I love it myself. 615-236-9960, 236-9960, or online at contoursllc.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Reports say police think they have identified a suspect in the Brown University shooting, and they're probing links to the murder of a professor at MIT. 2 students were killed and 9 wounded when a masked gunman stormed a classroom there at Brown on Saturday. Then days later, MIT professor Nuno Loureiro was found shot to death in his apartment. Authorities say the suspect's still on the run and a warrant has been issued, but they're not releasing this person's name. In other news, we've got the North Carolina plane crash, a Cessna 550 that reportedly killed NASCAR legend, veteran that is, Greg Biffle, his wife, 2 children, and 2 pilots. ABC's Sam Sweeney.
There were 7 people on board total, I should say, including Biffle, his wife, and his kids. That plane was in the air less than 10 minutes. It had just taken off from that airport. Something went wrong and forced that pilot. We don't know who was flying. Biffle was a pilot, but we don't know if he was flying that plane.
President Trump in the Oval Office this afternoon signed an executive order that reclassifies marijuana as a less dangerous drug. It opens up opportunities for research into medical applications and possibly loosening regulation.
Hopefully this reclassification, which, by the way, polls at 82%, will help many of those patients live a far better life.
And here's Selena weighing with what it means for marijuana.
So it reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug. For some context here, Schedule 1 drugs are the most restrictive category. That includes drugs like heroin and LSD, whereas Schedule 3 drugs include some common prescription painkillers like Tylenol with codeine.
And again, President Trump stressing that the reclassification does not allow recreational use on the federal level. State laws still govern that. Here in Tennessee, 4 children are safe after police say they were rescued from a human trafficking ring in Smithville, about 65 miles east of Nashville. Police say the victims were forced into labor at a Mexican restaurant and market to pay off smuggling debt. The investigation began when one of the victims ran away for help. 2 men under arrest with more arrests expected. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Bradley Parkway eastbound got a crash right before I-24 north in Bellshire. Then in Hermitage, a crash. Central Pike just east of Old Hickory Boulevard. Donaldson, a crash. Donaldson Pike at Royal Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
If you're looking to find a great Christmas gift for the adventurer in your life, what about an introductory flight experience from Tennessee Flight Training? Whether your special someone dreams of becoming a professional pilot or they're looking to fulfill a bucket list, Tennessee Flight Training can fulfill their aviation dreams. Meet and fly with a certified instructor from any of their 3 Middle Tennessee locations, either Nashville, B&A, Murray County Regional, or Shelbyville Municipal Airports. Step inside the aircraft and learn to fly on your very first day. Listen, folks, the aviation industry is facing a serious pilot shortage. Make this Christmas the most memorable yet by helping yourself or a loved one jumpstart perhaps a new career in a high-demand, high-paying profession. Save $100 when you purchase an introductory flight experience before December 24th. Book your next adventure at tnflighttraining.com, tnflighttraining.com, or 615-366-9192, 366-9192. Tennessee Flight Training. The skies are calling. You want to tell everybody what I had to explain to you during the break, Jackson, about cheese?
That it doesn't come from cows, it comes from the grocery store.
Exactly right. And Jackson said I'm not telling the truth. Jackson, you've got so much to learn, young man. Now, cheese doesn't come from cows. It comes from the grocery store, Jackson. I mean, you walk right in there and it says cheese. And you got to go all the way around the corner to get to the milk section. Come on, man. Come on, Jackson. Fake news. John in Lawrenceburg fell for it too, Jackson. You're not by yourself. John said, Matt, cheese is made from a mammal's secretion. Ooh. And cottage cheese is good with lasagna. And fake news. That's fake news. Fake news. Fake news. In the meantime, cheese comes from the grocery store, and milk comes from a cow's teat. And I don't do milk, but I do cheese because I love cheese. But I wouldn't drink milk. I don't like dairy. But cheese is good. Y'all with me so far? In the meantime, I'm not going to say much more about this. I'm a little bit too fascinated by it. Sandra writes in and says, cottage cheese is good with potato chips. Ugh. That's so gross.
That might be pretty good, actually.
Ken.
Yeah, put some seasoning on the cottage cheese and dip your chip in it. I'm going to try that.
Well, while you're trying that, why don't you try Chris's suggestion too, Ken? You ready?
Okay.
Cottage cheese is good with maple syrup.
I don't know about that.
Come on, Ken.
No, sir. No, I'm not going to do that. That definitely might turn me into an alcoholic.
1513 says, I told you earlier that cheese was the best form of milk. And 1513, I've told you cheese and milk are two different things. Cheese comes from the grocery store. Y'all gotta get some education in your life, I'll tell you. In the meantime, I'm a little bit confused. So this Brown University story, guys, there's something weird. An absence of information leads to what? What do you learn on this show? An absence of information leads to speculation. And we've had a distinct lack of information when it comes to Brown University. Now, we are now being told by authorities that the Brown University suspect has been identified, but they're not telling us who he is.
Yeah, there's two reports on this. Fox News is reporting it and New York Post is reporting it. The New York Post had it that they have issued a warrant, but they're not releasing the name. Fox News has it they have obtained a warrant, which could indicate maybe they're going to search something which may or may not require a name.
So they've issued a warrant to search.
Well, I don't know.
Is it a search warrant or is it an arrest warrant?
Hey,
that's the big question.
That's not what is being cleared up.
Okay, so that's the question then. We know that there's a warrant out there. Is it a search or arrest warrant? Investigators are now saying that they have identified the suspected Brown University shooter and are looking into whether there's a link to a murder of an award-winning nuclear scientist 50 miles away at MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. That, according to Fox News. He remains at large. Authorities have obtained a warrant, according to sources. Well, but they've identified the suspect, but why aren't they telling us?
I don't know.
One would think that the public would be of great benefit in the assistance that they need to arrest the perpetrator in this case. If you've identified the person, one would think that you have some additional photography.
Yeah, like a picture.
A driver's license photo or a different type of picture, or you've sourced this individual to different photographs on social media platforms or whatever. You're not relying any longer on the 1 or 2 or 3 surveillance camera footage still shots that they've been using over and over again.
And they also came out and said after this that this person could be anywhere.
So if this person has killed people and could be anywhere, why are they withholding this person's identifying characteristics to the general public?
Hopefully they're going to give an update today and someone will ask.
Well, if they do, we're going to carry it for you live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Unverified reports in both Providence, Rhode Island and Brookline, Massachusetts have described Nissan Sentras at the scene, although they've described it as having license plates from 2 different states. Earlier this week, FBI Boston Special Agent in Charge Ted Dox told reporters that investigators were sharing intelligence regarding both cases, but had not come up with a clear tie between the two. This individual is invariably described as 5 foot 8-ish inches tall with a stocky. Can we just go ahead and say that the dude's fat? I mean, is that okay? How many times do I have to listen to people tell me that he's stocky? You know what I used to get called? I mean, I still get called stocky. And I am. I'm fat.
I'm big boned.
Well.
And that comes from drinking a lot of milk.
I'm just fat. That comes from eating cheese. They used to call me Fat Murphy. A masked gunman barged into the lecture hall at Brown University in Providence around 4 p.m. Saturday, killed 2 students, injured 9 more. Authorities say they recovered a 9mm or multiple 9mm bullet casings from the scene. A person of interest was seen Saturday, a few minutes later, on surveillance video in the neighborhood east of the campus of Brown University. Around 8:30 at night, Monday, Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor Nuno F. Gomez Loreno, and I could be mispronouncing that last name, I apologize if I am, 47 years of age, was discovered with multiple gunshot wounds in his apartment in Brookline, a short drive from campus. He was pronounced dead at the hospital the following morning. The professor was a renowned nuclear physicist, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, and a recipient of a presidential award honoring his research. Authorities have not described what kind of weapon was used to kill the professor. The shooting left 2 students dead, identified as Ella Cook of Alabama. The Cook family in Alabama, and I know the Mountain Brook community where she's from. It's a suburb of Birmingham. That's just horrible. She was a student there at Brown, and obviously Muhammad Aziz Umar Zakov, and I'm horrible with names, y'all. I'm not trying to disrespect the dead, but I'm trying. Of Virginia was also killed. 9 others were injured. 6 of the survivors remain hospitalized as of this afternoon, 1 in critical but stable condition. The others were in stable condition. So the question then becomes, if they give out his name, what are they worried about here? It feels like they have a motivation that has nothing to do with finding this person. It feels like their motivation is preventing us from learning the identifying characteristics of the individual so as to better find him. Why? Is it because he's not a white male? Do you mean to tell me if this dude was a white male that they would not have already identified some of his characteristics in a fashion consistent with our ability to locate him? What if we discovered during the course of the investigation that this person was a Trump supporter? I mean, look, all I'm saying is it seems that there are different sets of rules for how the police comport themselves based on what type of individual and what the characteristics of the individual that they're searching for happen to be. I don't care. I don't give a rip what this guy is. He needs to be found and brought to justice. How is releasing his name preventing the police from doing that? I would think that it would benefit the police from doing that. And oh, by the way, as 9009 notes on the super text line, the Nissan Sentra with different license plates, I mean, my gut tells me, and I'm going to go ahead and take a wag at this, that's a wild-ass guess, that these two things don't have anything to do with one another. And the Nissan Sentra connection is just a coincidence. That is a wag. Just mark it down, put it in an envelope, seal it, and we can open it up later if I'm right or wrong. Sam is next up. Sam, thank you for your call. How are you? Hello, Sam. Sammy. Sam the man. Sam Malicious. Sam Marino. No? You know, Sam was the name of the snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Did you know that?
That's a great call. He made a great point.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, that's a good idea, too.
You know, I haven't thought of that way.
I like Sam more and more. The more I hear from Sam, the better.
Sam, you keep calling into this show.
Sam, if you keep bringing it like this, I don't know what we're going to do.
I mean, Matt Murphy might be out of a job.
Might have to have daily calls from Sam. Sam, I hope you're. Hold on, let me go back. Hey, Sam, if you're in a trunk, knock twice. Uh-oh, Sam's in trouble. Take care, Sam. You call us back anytime, buddy. He's Randy says the suspect is portly, fat.
Yeah, I like that term, portly.
Portly. They, when they deal with a fat boy, us fat boys, there's a little.
That's how they describe me if I was the suspect in a crime. He was a portly fella with a long beard.
I bet I would get husky. He's husky. Husky? What the hell does that mean? You mean fat?
He was a portly little fella with a lengthy beard.
If you're a little bit on Ken, I'm not talking about present company, but you're much more likely to get portly if you're a little on the short side. Have you noticed that?
Oh, that's how it is.
That's how it is, right?
Yes.
If you're a big, tall guy, you're a big guy. They say, they describe you as big.
You're big.
But if you're a shorter fella.
Yeah, it's portly.
Or, you get stocky a lot, too.
Yeah.
He's a stocky fella.
But
what
your mama calls you Big Bone.
You're just big bone. My grandmother told me that. I was like, Mom, I need to lose some weight. Oh, you're just big boned. What does that mean?
It's nice. It's just being nice.
2565 says, when I hear stocky, I think big torso, but not like muscular. No. Big torso and small legs, skinny legs, or even just short legs. That's right. That's stocky. Or portly fella.
It's a portly fella. Portly little fella.
Eric says, I'm not fat, I'm well marbled. Look, I'm just telling you that if this were a white guy, we would have more description. And I'm sick to death of the double standard that is existing in modern media with regard to describing individuals that need to be brought to justice. If we have an individual in our, for example, if we had an individual in the Nashville or surrounding community and that individual was wanted by police and they had identifying marks, if they know what type of clothing this person has, then tell us what type of clothing. Now, I understand he can change his clothes. If they know what color his skin is, tell us that too. I don't care what color it is. White, brown, black, blue, green, don't care. Hair color, don't care. Tell us. If you understand the nature of the person's ethnicity, what are we going to do if they're a they, them, and we don't know their sexuality? Just tell me what you think. Male, female, just let me know. Give me your best darn guess. Brian says, we are talking about a college campus, so they may say Rubenesque, which is Rubenesque. Rubenesque. That's the way they used to describe those meaty pinup ladies back in the day.
Oh, pinup, yeah.
Those, you know what I'm saying? Those ladies that were a little
curvy.
Yeah, there you go, Ken. Curvy. We called those women Rubenesque. See, they ain't get called husky or stocky. They were Rubenesque.
Got that way by drinking milk.
That's not cheese eating. Ernest, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. I was just calling because you just touched on it, but it's like maybe they're not releasing this identity because this person could be one of these they, them type individuals, and that would look bad on considering all the other assassination attempts and things like that in recent history.
So, wait a minute. I might have missed something there. What do you think the justification is? Because they don't want to mischaracterize
they don't
or stereotype?
That they are like a transgender.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, and this goes to the complete ridiculous nature of all of this transgender nonsense, Ernest, and thank you for the telephone call. If everything that I ever learned about life, there's an episode of Seinfeld that reflects on it. Remember when Jerry was carrying around the man bag, his European man bag?
Oh, man purse.
Well, no, he called it a man bag, but Kramer told him, well, that's a purse.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And then at the end, a guy steals it.
Yes.
He goes, oh, he took my European man satchel. He took my man bag. And it's like, what? My European satchel. And the police officer was like, what? My purse! He stole my purse! Yeah. Yeah, when the chips are down, it became a purse, didn't it? Well, when the chips are down, we're going to call a man and a woman, aren't we? Adam in the Borough says, I was told I was husky when I was a kid. I didn't realize what they meant until a decade later. Oh, yeah, I had to buy Huskies from Kmart. My grandmother bought me husky pants from Kmart. I hated it.
Yeah. I had Tough Skins.
Ooh, Tough Skins. I remember those, too. We had, I think Huskies were Kmart brand pants. I think that's right.
I think the Tough Skins were, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you must have been leaner than me. I'm assuming that the Huskies were for larger fellas. I don't know.
Per the name.
Yeah, based on the name. Chris says, I'm not fat. I just pack a pouch. No, a punch. A punch. Yes, and I understand that most of you are fluffy. One way or the other, 53 after the hour. We'll try to get to the bottom of exactly what we know and don't know about this Brown University suspect. We'll continue talking about Donald Trump rescheduling marijuana. And Donald Trump said a few things last night on national television. There are some that are suggesting that Donald Trump got access to all of the networks because of a head fake. Do y'all think he was playing 4D chess? Because he didn't really say a lot except to defend his economic policy. Many believe that all of the networks carried the address because they thought that he was going to announce that we were going to war with Venezuela. I'll tell you the theories and see if you agree with them in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you're tired of health insurance that feels like a mathematics exam, if you don't understand what's going to happen in 2026 when it comes to your premiums or your deductibles, friends, might I ask of you to make one telephone call that I've asked so many others to make? It will save you money. It's with Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Shane has all of the best policies. We've been telling you about some of these plans where, a nationwide PPO plan, for example, that gives you the freedom to choose your doctors anywhere in the United States of America without the headache, with only a $250 deductible and flat copays after the deductible. Outpatient surgery for as low as $250 in copay as well. Friends, these are real programs at Shane's fingertips that he can offer you when you make the call. If you're frustrated that the government's telling you your premiums are going up, if you're frustrated that you have to deal with Obamacare to begin with, you need to call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. They don't play by Washington's rules, and you shouldn't have to either. Real health care coverage on your terms, not the government's. Call today. Go to covernash.com or give Shane a call at 615-465-0023, 465-0023.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. The New York Post and Fox News are reporting police say they've determined the identity of the Brown University killer, but they have not released a name. They say they've obtained a warrant, but are not releasing a name. Investigators say there may be evidence linking this person to the murder of MIT professor Nuno Loureiro days later. Reports say NASCAR veteran Greg Biffle and his family are among 7 people killed when a Cessna 550 jet crashed into a ball of fire after takeoff at a regional airport north of Charlotte, North Carolina this morning. Investigators say the Biffles owned the plane. More from ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney.
It explodes, and there was just no chance of anyone on board that plane surviving. It was a 44-year-old Cessna plane. Biffle had been a longtime pilot. He was a helicopter pilot. He had flown a number of rescue missions during the aftermath of Hurricane Helene in Asheville, North Carolina. And now tonight, the NASCAR community is mourning.
President Trump has signed an executive order reclassifying marijuana from a Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 controlled substance with legitimate medical uses.
The facts compel the federal government to recognize that marijuana can be legitimate in terms of medical applications when carefully administered. In some cases, this may include the use as a substitute for addictive and potentially lethal opioid painkillers.
ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang with more.
Now, this does not fully legalize marijuana, but it does mean there are some practical changes here. Like it could make it easier to have medical access, fewer legal gray areas for consumers and businesses. And the White House is really stressing that this is about removing barriers to research marijuana, especially when it comes to using it for pain management, for chronic pain and other conditions.
Authorities in Smithville have rescued 4 children from what they say was a human trafficking operation. This about 65 miles east of Nashville. Investigators say the victims were smuggled across the border, then forced to work at a Mexican restaurant and market to take care of smuggling debt. The case came to light after police say one of the victims escaped and alerted police. 2 men are facing charges. Federal agencies warn more arrests could follow. And a new bill in Tennessee would require schools to track early warning signs in students. The proposal calls for a computer-based system where teachers log concerns like bullying, threats, or mental health issues. Those entries would then alert a school threat assessment team for quick intervention. If passed, this law would take effect in July. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, right now we've got the brake tapping in full effect, especially if you're eastbound 440 over to 24. That's complete stop and go between 65 and Nolensville Pike, and then eastbound 24 from 440 complete stops. Northbound 65, you're slowing down to the South Loop, and then to go eastbound on the South Loop, complete stop and go traffic from there. In Bellevue, we've got a crash. That's going to be Highway 70 South, just east of Hicks Road. Donaldson, Lebanon Pike at Briley Parkway. Then in Hermitage, Lebanon Pike at Central Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. We've reached the 5 o'clock hour of the Matt Murphy Radio Show, 5:06 to be precise. Thank you for being around with us conveniently. My name is Matt Murphy. This Thursday edition continues. It's been fun. It's been frivolous. We've had some serious matters to discuss as well, and we'll continue all of that coming up for the final 2 hours and make our way to our Friday. Hope everybody's got their Christmas and holiday plans all mapped out, and maybe you've done your shopping, maybe you haven't done your shopping, whatever you're doing, we thank you for doing it with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's episode 946. You can find us in a variety of platforms in a variety of ways. We're obviously on the intraweb, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn. Those are 3 platforms where we can be found. You can download our own app and take us wherever you want to go on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Easy for me to say. That's our app. Just type that in there and you'll find us. We're also on the good old radio, 99.7 FM from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. And then, of course, there's Talk TV. For you masochists in the listening audience that want to watch me do the radio show, I don't know why you would, but if you do, go over to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or Rumble, and we appreciate you being there. Like and subscribe if you're over there. As Ken Weaver likes to say, it will cost you what, Ken?
Absolutely nothing, yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Nothing. All at just a moment of your time and no cost to you.
I might change that, though.
Well, you're looking to charge in 2026?
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Lots of new initiatives for the new year.
Frankly, I don't begrudge you trying to figure out a way to make a buck or two. I know what they don't pay you here. No comment?
It's a great experience.
What you don't get in pay, you receive in accolades and our love.
And holiday treats.
I ate some of your Chex Mix, by the way.
I've been snacking on the pecans. The pecans.
Yeah,
Pecans.
The pecans in the pecan.
Pecans. So I found a little bag of those Cameron Smith pecans in my bag.
They are delicious.
Forgot to unload last night, and I went ahead and scarfed those down during the break, too. They're pretty good.
I had to run away from that thing.
Woo! So good.
Oh, man.
You know what? We were talking about pants last hour, Ken.
Britches?
Britches. Dungarees, as my grandpa used to say.
So did Les Nessman.
Dungarees. I am being told that Tough Skins were Sears.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. I am confident, 99.9% confident, that Husky was Kmart brand because my grandmother would only shop for me for school wear at Kmart, which is one of the reasons that when I was 11 years old, I said, Mom, can I please have some Levi's because the kids are picking on me. I didn't say the last part, but that's why I wanted them. The kids were picking on me about the Huskies. And so I said, can I please have Levi's? And this was in August. I was 11 years old in August, a little Matt Murphy. And and by the way, I wasn't that husky. I earned that later on in life.
Yeah.
But little Matt Murphy wanted some Levi's blue jeans. I didn't want husky blue jeans from Kmart. I didn't want Kmart blue jeans. I didn't want Blue Light Special blue jeans. I wanted Levi's.
Yeah.
And Ma went back and told Pa. This is like a month before my 12th birthday.
December 14th, 1865.
Yeah, very good.
The America is torn at the height of the Civil War.
The Civil War was over by then, but whatever. I get what you're going.
Husky jeans were sold by Sears, too.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
Apparently they were...
What? A common brand sold by many companies?
They were part of the popular Tough Skins line.
Oh, okay. Well, so Huskies were a division of Tough Skins.
Yes,
Well, you were right, Ken. Good for you.
The internet told me that.
Oh, well. I mean, you said it earlier.
Yeah.
You said that you thought Tough Skins were...
I thought they were the same thing.
Well, and they pretty much are. One way or the other, I didn't want them. And so I begged Ma to not make me wear Huskies. And she told my grandpa about it. And
What'd your grandpa say?
he woke... I'm not making this up. He woke me up the next morning. This was during summer. Like, this is the beginning of August. He woke me up the next morning at 6 o'clock and said, get up and get your clothes on. We're going to work. And I said, sorry, he goes, you're going to go to work with me. And I said, okay. And we got in the truck. I mean, so we get ready. We eat breakfast. I don't question it. You don't question my grandpa.
No.
And we got in the truck. And he said, and he didn't say anything. We're driving along, and he said, your mom says you don't like your blue jeans. And I said, no, sir. I asked if we could do Levi's because all the kids are wearing Levi's.
Yeah.
And he said, okay. And that's all he said about it. And so we went to work, and, he started training me. I was much more of a pain in the you-know-what probably for him than I was worth. But he started training me to hand him wrenches and that sort of thing. And at the end of the week, he gave me $10.
All right.
And he said, that's your pay for the work that you did this week. He said, if you save up enough of that, you can buy whatever blue jeans you want.
Right.
And that's all he said.
Yeah.
And so I did. I saved up enough money, and I bought my own blue jeans. I bought me some Levi's.
I tended to tear my clothes up a lot because, like I told you boys, I was the favorite in playing tackle the man with a football because I was smaller.
What was that game called again, Ken?
And I constantly had holes in the knees of my pants. Because, I did that, too, because I would fall off my bicycle and things like that. So I think Mom just went with the Tough Skins thinking that it wouldn't happen.
Well, because they're called Tough Skins.
Yeah, but I tore those up, too. So then she just took to patching my jeans.
I had so many of those patches on my jeans, too.
And for me, that was problematic because when school picture time rolled around, also being the shortest person in my class, I'm right there front and center with my crooked haircut and patched at Tough Skins.
Wait, they made you take pictures by height?
Well, I had to stand in front.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. The group shot.
Yeah,
I got it.
I wasn't even tall enough to be taller than people standing up on the bleachers.
I got it. Yeah, in the group shot, the shorter guys and gals had to go up front. I get that.
And there I am, crooked hair and patched Tough Skin.
Did she patch them from the outside or from the inside?
She patched them from the outside.
For some reason, my grandmother would patch them from the inside, and I never got it.
Well, yeah, because it would still show the rip in your jeans.
Right.
Right. I think Mom did that one time, too. I'll have to ask her.
I want to believe
I'll go back and look at the picture.
I want to believe that was cooler. That was a cooler way of doing it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then later on, at least in my experience, I was so embarrassed about wearing jeans with patches on them. Yeah. So embarrassed. And later on, that was the fact, man, we would intentionally rip our jeans.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, yes.
That was the style.
That's what you wanted. Back in the olden times, Jackson, we would intentionally rip our clothes. Now you have to go to fancy.
You can get pre-ripped clothes.
Yeah, fancy boutiques to buy some pre-ripped. I can't say it.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. I promise you, I'm not on the milk, y'all. I'm not. 615-737-9986. Here's some news items that you need to know about. We'll get to your telephone calls momentarily, all of which want to talk about pants. Look, I'm just delivering the news, boys. Suspected Brown University gunman has been identified, according to authorities. Investigators in New England have identified the suspect in the Brown University shooting and are looking into whether there's a link to the murder of a scientist 50 miles away at MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Apparently, the suspect remains at large, and authorities have obtained a warrant. They're not really telling us what type of warrant, however, and it remains a little up in the air. Are we talking about a search warrant? Are we talking about an arrest warrant? What kind of warrant are we discussing? Unverified reports in both Providence and Brookline, that's Rhode Island and Massachusetts, respectively, have described Nissan Sentras at the scene, which, I mean, Nissan Sentra is a fairly common model of automobile. Today, a regional CBS affiliate, WPRI Television, reported that senior law enforcement sources are saying they discovered evidence of a connection. It's unclear exactly what that evidence might be. So we continue to cover that story for you. In the meantime, news breaking from the Health and Human Services Department that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., our Health and Human Services Secretary, and the Trump administration is saying no to child sex change in the United States of America. The Department of Health and Human Services plans to announce in a press conference today, at some point they probably already have done so and I missed it, that hospitals that perform sex changes on children, including pharmaceutical or surgical interventions, will not be permitted to participate in Medicaid or Medicare programs. Obviously, shortly after taking office, President Donald Trump signed an executive order countermanding the order of President Joe Biden on trans inclusion, saying my administration will defend women's rights and protect freedom of conscience by using clear and accurate language and policies that recognize women are biologically female and men are biologically male. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. signed a peer-reviewed declaration today affirming that, quote, these procedures do not meet professionally recognized standards of health care. Under the declaration, practitioners who perform sex-rejecting procedures on minors would be deemed out of compliance with these standards. In other words, we're not going to put up with this crap anymore. And it's high time that we stopped it. We live in a society that believes in freedom so much that if you want to demand that your circle of friends call you a guy and you were born a girl, you can do that. And if you're grown, freedom dictates that you can do with your body what you choose. You want to get a bunch of tattoos, you can do that. You want to start lopping some parts off, you can do that too. But I don't have to be complicit in your fantasy. And I sure as hell will work to the best of my ability to protect the kids. Because they can't make decisions about their short-term future. Why in the world would we expect that they have the ability to make decisions about their long-term future? And sadly, most of the decision-making that goes along these lines are at the insistence of doctors, medical, quote-unquote, professionals, and parents who have their own agendas and are using these children to fulfill those agendas. I'm not denying that there is genuine gender dysphoria. I soundly reject that there is any medical necessity to changing the gender of someone who is under the age of majority. I soundly reject it. And America soundly rejects it. The only thing that these people who insist that it must be done rely on this lie that it is, quote, life-saving treatment, because otherwise these people would kill themselves. And that is pseudoscience not grounded in reality. And I defy you to tell me, to show me, to call me, and demonstrate to me the peer-reviewed research that definitively says that these young people will kill themselves if you don't cut body parts off of them before they reach a certain age. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Once again, when you reach a certain age, you're grown and you get to make these decisions whether I agree with them or don't. But if you're a child, our society dictates that we protect our children from those who want to do them harm. And I'm glad that the Health and Human Services Director has decided to go this route. Jeff wants to talk about pants. Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Quit your bitching about your tough skins and your huskies.
Come on, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, here's my story. Well, Mom is a Kentuckian, and I'm in Indiana. So back in the 60s and the 70s is when I grew up. Well, me and I guess you'll know this reference. Me and Herb Tarlick were both dressed out of the same golf pro shop in Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, man, you had a white belt, didn't you?
I had every kind of weird-looking pantsuit. My shirts and my pants had to match and everything. I didn't own a pair of blue jeans till I was in high school.
Wow.
I had all these polyester knit pants and everything. If I'd have got close to a fire, I'd have went up like a fireball.
A lot of polyester, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
And all the little striped colors and everything. Oh, yeah. For some reason, I was too good to be dressed in blue jeans, so we had to wear all these fancy pants and everything. So I really got it in school,
Oh, I bet. Man, nowadays you can't tell high fashion from, cost-saving clothing. Back in the day, boy, kids were mean. They could sniff it out 3 classes away. I mean, they knew. I mean, the rich kids knew that I shopped at Kmart, and they wanted nothing to do with me because we shopped at Kmart.
Yeah, well, I was just the opposite. I had the good clothes supposedly, and I didn't want to wear the good clothes because the other kids, was picking on me for having those clothes, and I keep telling Mom, that they're picking on me because I'm wearing all these weird clothes and everything. She goes, well, they're just jealous of you. I was like, no, they're not jealous of me because I stick out like a sore thumb because I got plaid pants and corduroys and everything, and everybody else has got blue jeans.
You remember members only, Jeff?
Yeah, I never had any of them, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I remember. And Jeff, thank you for the call. God bless you, brother. I appreciate the trip down memory lane. I wanted a members only jacket, and I told my grandmother. And then I was already working with my grandpa at this point, and I was like, I want a members only jacket, and she brought me home an executive club. That's what it said on the lapel. Executive club. It was like a knockoff of a members only. I guess it was cheaper. 22 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WGN. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment about charitable giving. This time of year, I know you're thinking about giving to organizations that you believe in. Might I recommend a wonderful organization called Men of Valor? Men of Valor makes a difference in our community, friends. They do it every single day. As stewards of your generous donations, they bring that money to men in crisis, and they use that money to minister those men in crisis in the prison system and beyond. In 2024, as a matter of fact, they ministered well over 3,000 men, and we'll have some new figures for you at the beginning of the year. For example, speaking of figures, 90+% of men who go into the prison system get out. What type of men do you want getting out? Well, the army of staff and volunteers that minister directly to the incarcerated by way of Bible study, discipleship, chapel service, concerts, and more. They turn takers into givers, and they bring those men out of the prison system and to their campus at Valor Ridge or in Knoxville, and they help provide them with career-based employment and all of the resources that they need to re-enter society as productive members. That's what it's all about, and reduce recidivism rates as a result. Will you give as you can or volunteer, if you will, to Men of Valor? Go to movministry.com. That's movministry.com.
So authorities reportedly think they know the identity of the Brown University killer, but they are not releasing a name. However, they say they've obtained a warrant. We'll tell you about that story and more coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I have several members of the Murphy Minion family suggesting that my memory has failed me with regard to husky genes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's true. I remember husky. That's what I remember. But I'm being told that what I probably had were Kmart rustler genes that were husky sized. Look, all I knew is I wanted to get the hell out of Kmart. That's all I knew.
Not me, man. I wanted a toy.
My grandma would take me to Kmart, and there was that awesome place to eat. You remember that? Ken, did y'all have Kmarts with the little...
They did have a little restaurant.
They had a little restaurant
Like
deli
Target?
deal. But these were like in-house Kmart restaurants.
Yeah.
These were not like... Does Target have a restaurant?
They used to. Target Cafe.
One in Murfreesboro, I
Okay.
believe, has one.
Well,
Get you some
Kmart had it.
popcorn. You ever had some Target popcorn?
And they had that fancy glass, and you couldn't see what people were eating because they didn't want the folks that were eating to have to look at us lowly shoppers who were going to the Husky aisles.
I know what glass you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of open. You could kind of see what was going on, but you really couldn't.
Right.
And I know they had those fancy glasses like the red cups.
The red Coke cups?
Yeah, yes. Pizza Hut had them too. But Kmart had them. And I asked my grandmother every time we went, can we get something to eat? No, we'll eat at home.
Never got to try the Kmart Food Mart?
You never had the pleasure of experiencing the blue light special either, Jackson.
There was a Kmart. I've been to Kmart.
I bet by the time you went to it, they were calling it the Big K. That's not the same.
I think it was a Super K.
Big K.
Not the same thing. When I lived up in Connecticut, they had a grocery store, and my buddy Wayne and I called it the existential grocery store because it was called the Big Y.
The Big Y.
That's a very existential question. Why? Why are we here? I don't know, because we need something to eat. Daniel is next. Wants to talk pants. Hey, Daniel.
Thank you for taking my call. Love the show.
Yeah, Daniel.
All right, I would like to share the story of Jeffrey White with you and your listeners.
Okay.
The very first person I ever met, I had to move, was junior high, very first day, I had to move to the place, and I met the very first person. His name was Jeffrey White. We were very good friends all the way through junior high. Well, he had noticed that people were picking on me because of my pants.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming up and they were bumping me with pens to make sure that I had them washed, and that pen mark would go away on wherever they bumped me, and they would look at me. Jeffrey noticed this. He went to the guidance counselor because in junior high, you start to grow. He and I were the same size when we started, but halfway through the year, he's growing, I'm not. He went to the guidance counselor, and he offered a whole bag of pants for me.
Oh.
And he did it through the correct channels where it was very low key. I was called to the guidance counselor offer. Jeffrey was there. His mother was there.
Oh.
And they gifted me this bag of pants. And then they hid that bag of pants in the guidance counselor's office closet until my mom can come after school hours and no one was there.
That's
when
cool.
They picked it up. So it was very, very nonchalant.
That's cool.
And Jeffrey White was a black boy. And from that day on, there's no such thing as prejudice in my life. When God speaks through your heart, it doesn't matter your skin color. It just matters that you want to do the right thing. And he helped me through that.
Where was this, Daniel? What city?
This was in Florida. I was the youngest of 6.
Hey, I can't. I got to go because I'm running real late. But Daniel, I have one. Have you kept up with him? Do you know where he is? Have you tried to find him?
Facebook is a wonderful thing. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I hope. Call me back and let me know what happened when you reached out to him. That's a great story.
That's a good story.
I love that story, and that's cool. Jeffrey White. Way to go, Jeffrey White. You're a good man. 32 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. The New York Post and Fox News reporting police say they have determined the identity of the Brown University killer, but they have not released a name. They say they have obtained a warrant, but they're not releasing a name. Investigators say there may be evidence linking this person to the murder of MIT professor Nuno Loureiro days later. NASCAR veteran Greg Biffle and his family are among those dead after a Cessna 550 jet crashed shortly after takeoff this morning from a regional airport north of Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney.
The NTSB has launched a GO team to figure out what happened here. If that plane did have black boxes on it, there's a chance that it didn't. It's quite old, private jet, so unclear if it did. They're going to look at that. They're going to look at the video. They're going to check weather. They're going to search that runway. That airport remains closed to try to pick up any clues that they can get, all that perishable evidence that they want to collect in the next 24 to 48 hours.
President Trump in the Oval Office this afternoon signed an executive order that reclassifies marijuana as a less dangerous drug, opening up opportunities for research into medical applications and possibly loosening regulation.
Hopefully this reclassification, which, by the way, polls at 82%, will help many of those patients live a far better life.
Now, it doesn't legalize recreational pot, but it could ease regulations, expand medical research, alter taxation. Here's ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
This is a major change, and it's something that President Trump had first floated support for on the 2024 campaign trail as he was trying to gain support from younger voters. So it does have broad appeal. And this change also means that for the first time at the federal level, the government is recognizing that marijuana could have medical value.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over here on the South Loop, got a crash 65 northbound right there at I-40. Belmont, a crash. On-ramp partially blocked. 65 southbound on-ramp from Wedgwood. And Franklin got a crash 65 southbound before I-840. And on the South Loop, a crash 40 eastbound just past 65 south. So the South Loop right now is not a happy place to be, or at least the drivers who are there are not happy. Cedar Hill, Tennessee, in Robertson County, got an injury wreck, 24 westbound past Maxey Road. And then in Berry Hill, a crash, 65 southbound at I-440. Millersville in Sumner County, crash reported 65 southbound at Louisville Highway, exit 98. I'm Ken Weaver.
Aaron Stokes lives by, he lives by a motto, and that is do all the good you can by all the means you can and all the ways you can and all the places you can at all the times you can to all the people you can for as long as you can. Aaron Stokes has tried to do this for over a quarter century. Friends, it's Matt Murphy for Eurofix. Eurofix repairs European vehicles at below dealer pricing, but what sets them apart is not just price. It's a deep commitment to quality that keeps you off the tow truck. Eurofix has clean and welcoming shops. When you go in, you know it, you see it. Quality that keeps you away from the repair shop for as long as possible. They have a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection to share what's going on before they touch your vehicle. Plus, at Eurofix, you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on all repair work performed. Rental cars are available with appointment. 5 locations: Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Belmead, Mount Juliet. 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX. Or visit myEurofix.com. Once again, myEurofix.com. You guys have to stick with me for the real news, okay? As much as we try, as hard as we work to get to the truth, and as loyal as our listening audience truly is, sometimes they lose their way. I'll give you an example. By the way, it's the Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 39 after the hour. Nincompoops on the way. There's 3 nincompoops right here. One's named Ken Weaver. One's named Jackson Williams. One named Matt Murphy. Somebody just said to me that my favorite milk is ice cream. Ice cream's not milk, y'all. Y'all need it. Come on.
How do you make ice cream, Matt?
You go to the store and you get it out of the frozen. Ice cream's frozen, Jackson. It's ice cream's solid. Ice cream's a solid. A lot of times it's got nuts in it. Sometimes it's got like little bits of fruit. I like my strawberry with actual strawberries. I love some Cherry Garcia, although I don't like that Ben and Jerry. But yeah, ice cream's delicious. Ice cream is made from the love of fairy dust.
I've got some breaking news.
And unicorn farts.
I've got a little bit of breaking news.
Unicorn goes, and there's some Rocky Road.
Would that be 2 scoops or 1?
Mint chocolate chip right there. Butter pecan. What's your breaking news, Jackson?
We have gold bricked the last 2 hours and 40 minutes of this radio show. Disappointing both of our bosses and our families.
Ken's been doing a great job.
I'm talking about the 2 of us, brother.
I delivered a little news. I don't think 2 hours. I don't think it's been the full 2:40.
Okay, 2:29. I'll give you 11 minutes.
I'll accept 2 hours. I'll compromise. Look, I just negotiated the price of a house. I'll do this all day. Police are denying scrubbing the internet, and they're asking the public for patience when it comes to Brown University's apparent scrub of a student profile after the shooting at Brown. There are some that are saying that this is the suspect. Brown is not responding to those claims. They are, quote, cautioning against targeting individuals and emphasized removing information can at times be a safety measure. What they have done is removed information about a specific individual on their social media footprint, scrubbing social media of an individual whose name I have, whose name means nothing to any of us. And if it turns out that this person is not responsible for any of this, I'm not going to be a part of that. But this individual is a first-year student at Brown. Speculation has grown after his student profile vanished from the university website. Some are asking who this person is. Apparently, the individual who was scrubbed from Brown University's website is a Palestinian refugee studying international affairs and anthropology with a focus on the Middle East. On the platform X, users are claiming that the school was scrubbing his name. However, officials stated no suspect has been publicly named, and the scrubbing is not. I think it's very, very fishy that this is happening. And
yeah, it's weird.
It is weird that they would scrub this person's name. Why wouldn't they, if this guy's not the guy, just come out and say, this is not the guy. Y'all stop targeting this guy. Yeah, he is, quote unquote, stocky like the individual in question. It feels like this is the guy, but they're trying to push us in a different direction. But I don't know that to be true. But I just want to make you aware that we're aware of that. Several of you are like, are you not aware that they're scrubbing? No, I'm aware that they're doing this. I'm also aware that there is a possibility, although it is not a probability, that that individual is not the person that committed these acts. I don't know who did it.
We got lots of law enforcement that listen to us. Somebody could probably tell us if this is like a legitimate way to go about announcing you have identified a suspect.
What's not legitimate, Ken, in my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, why would Brown scrub student profiles if those profiled people have nothing to do with any of this?
Well, no, that's another question.
Why wouldn't Brown just come out and say, y'all need to stop making assumptions just because we got a heavyset Palestinian guy that came to be a part of our university doesn't mean that he's a suspect, and he's not a suspect, and he's been cleared. As a matter of fact, where is this fella? I mean, if some are suggesting that this guy's a suspect and he's not a suspect, why hasn't he popped his head up and said, y'all leave me alone, I'm not a suspect? Instead, they're deleting his profile. In the profile, which have been screenshotted because the internet is forever, it indicates that he was a third-generation Palestinian refugee born and raised in Lebanon, not Lebanon, Lebanon. The profile also noted that he had earned a scholarship to attend United World College and had participated in community building and social change projects. Well, all of that has been scrubbed from the intraweb, and it's very, very odd. It is 45 after the hour. More of your calls coming up right now. It's time for Nincompoops. Gold breaking.
Nincompoops in the news.
Gold breaking. We're making gold, baby. It is time for Nincompoops in the news. It is an opportunity for us to look for the weird, the wacky, the wild, yes, the nincompoopery that lives and breathes among us. By the way, we accept submissions for Nincompoops in the news. You just send those submissions to Matt@murphyshow.com. That's Matt@murphyshow.com. What do you mean? No. We accept submissions, and I'll share them fairly. One for me and none for you. 2 for me and 1 for Ken. 3 for me and none for Jackson. See? Fair. Don't you think? We accept submissions. I got one earlier. I'm not going to use it, but I am going to tell you about it. This is not an official nincompoop. Did y'all see this story? I don't know where it is. Will the person who sent me this story tell me where this is from? It's Ken, look this up real quick. You got a second? Yes. WKRC television. Where would that be?
I think that's Chattanooga.
Oh, is it? Oh,
let me
what?
See. No, I'm sorry. That's Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. So local television station WKRC out of Cincinnati reports a mortuary allegedly gave a father a bag that they said contained his son's clothing. It was his deceased son. And it was, good Lord. I can't even say this. This is awful. This mortuary needs to be closed down. They accidentally gave the grieving father, his son's brain.
Goodness.
And told him that it was a bag of his son's clothes. And the way that he realized it, you know what? I shouldn't have said this, any of it. The way that they realized it was the father tried to wash the clothes. He thought they were clothes.
So he turned the bag up and it fell into the washing machine.
Yeah, the entire staff of that mortuary, they're a bunch of nincompoops. And that mortuary needs to be shut down and sold off. And then Daddy is going to get all of their money because that is just awful.
Wow.
Awful. Out of Cincinnati. But that is not my official nincompoop. I don't get to go first, as a matter of fact.
I do. I won.
You did not.
So did you not see the votes that came overnight?
Jackson.
No, we're not doing that, Brother Jackson.
I found 100 votes for me.
Did you?
Yes, late last night.
This is not Georgia.
Where'd you find them, Jackson?
I just found them.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they were. They're right there in the bathroom stall in a box.
Yep, labeled Jackson votes.
All right, you continue counting those votes while Ken Weaver goes, okay? Ken,
yes,
congratulations on Heavy is the Head, my friend, that wears the crown. You are the big winner. You have already won the Nincompoop of the Week trophy brought to us by Wellness Institute of Nashville and the crown. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Way to go.
Thank you, boys.
Ken, now I would encourage
and the voters.
I would encourage you to go ahead and make it a clean sweep, although you're going to have a hard time doing it because I got a good one today.
All right, well, you may not have one as good as this one.
Let's go.
All right, this here's a story out of Italy, and I found it in The Sun. Not a wise man. This is the peculiar moment when a man on the run from police tried to blend into a Christmas nativity scene, pretending to be one of the 3 wise men. Comical images show him standing in the background of the nativity scene with his arms held aloft. The wanted man was doing his very best to imitate the other life-size statues positioned alongside him. He can be seen wearing a jacket and coat entirely different to those stood next to him. The 38-year-old man from Ghana was fleeing the cops after being hit with a conviction for assault and resisting arrest. He had previously been sentenced to 9 months and 15 days in prison. To his disappointment, the fugitive was eventually discovered by none other than the town's mayor. The mayor realized something wasn't quite right when he noticed the smallest of movements out of the corner of his eye. Mayor Flavio Filoni said, while I was walking past the nativity scene, which set up by our tourism office, I noticed a figure which I initially thought was part of the scene. After seeing through the ruse, the police promptly arrested the unnamed individual. He has since been remanded in custody in a nearby city, and that's apparently where he's going to serve out the entirety of his sentence. You got to see this picture, man. It cracks me up.
Does it show? I mean, he's like, he's posing. He's got normal clothes on.
He's got, well, they're kind of,
What an idiot.
Like the rest of the scene has kind of light colored clothing. He's got like all black on, and he's standing there like this. And then apparently he's kind of waving.
This will get him. Shh, shh. Everybody quiet. I should have played the baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Take off your clothes. Let's be the baby Jesus. That's funny. Jackson?
All right.
No, whoa. You finished counting votes yet?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I won.
Did you? I'll go next.
All right.
I'll go next.
Brother of...
What are you doing? Is yours out of Texas?
No.
All right, you can go.
Brother of Rams All-Pro wide receiver Puka Nacua arrested after stealing Los Angeles Lakers forwards SUV, LAPD says.
Can you say that on the radio? Are you sure? Did you say Puka?
Puka Nacua?
Okay, I misheard you. Never mind.
What did you think I said?
Nothing.
Pupa Nacua?
Yeah, maybe.
You can say that.
Nincompupa Nacua.
2 men, including the brother of Los Angeles Rams star wide receiver Puka Nacua, were arrested over the weekend after allegedly taking Los Angeles Lakers forward Adu Fierro's SUV without his consent, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Deputies were called to the One Hotel on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood after the vehicle was tracked to the hotel. LASD exclusively told this station in Los Angeles the suspects had valeted the car and entered the hotel. While reviewing security footage, deputies were able to identify the suspects and found them soon after. They were then arrested on suspicion of taking the SUV. The suspects arrested in the case were identified as 27-year-old Trey Rose and 27-year-old Samson Nacua, who is the brother of All-Pro Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. Both men face a charge of taking a vehicle without the owner's consent and remain behind bars.
I'm having a difficult time following the story because I'm imagining, hey, Mama Nacua. Hey, Papa Nacua. You got a little bundle of joy. What you want to name this?
Puka.
You want to name it Puka Nacua? Okay. Puka. How do you spell that? P-O-O-K-A?
P-U-K-A, I bet.
I'm going with the double O.
Double O?
So Puka is a nickname.
Oh.
He is Polynesian.
Uh-huh.
And his real name is Makia Nacua.
Makia Nacua.
Hakuna Matata.
Pretty much. Close enough.
That I don't know what ist that is, but I just committed some sort of ist. I'm a racist or something.
Polynesian is a race.
I'm a Polynesian ist.
That would be racist.
Sure. Okay, fine.
That would just be racism.
I'll accept that. Waco, Texas, a Waco man yelling, speaking of racist, a Waco man yelling racial slurs and threatening to burn down a woman's home accidentally set himself on fire, according to arrest warrants. Troy McDaniel, 47, is charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, according to court documents and online jail records. The incident happened December 18th. Is that today? That's today.
That's today.
This is today. This was filed in Waco at 1:26. I ought to get extra credit for it being so timely.
That's very fresh.
This is a fresh nincompoop. Incident happened today, probably late last night or early this morning, I would suggest, in the 1700 block of Aura, Texas. Police received an emergency call alerting them that a man was on fire in the middle of the intersection at Hillsborough and Aura. The callers reported McDaniel accidentally set himself on fire and was seen running away to his trailer home, which was... I got to stop laughing during these. Hold on, let me try it again. The callers reported McDaniel accidentally set himself on fire and was seen running away to his trailer home, which was parked outside of a tire shop at the 1600 block of Hillsborough. When the officers arrived at the scene, they met with 3 victims who said McDaniel had been yelling racial slurs at them and threatening to set their home on fire. A woman told the police that McDaniel then left and returned to her home with a gasoline canister sometime later. McDaniel would pour gasoline down the side of their home and onto the roadway. He then pulled out a lighter and attempted to ignite it, according to the police record. This is what caused McDaniel to catch himself on fire, along with the roadway and grassy area near the home.
Moron.
Police say the victims used buckets of water to extinguish the flames on their property and out of the roadway. The officers approached the trailer outside of the tire shop, breached the trailer doors, and found McDaniel hiding under his bed. According to the affidavit, he was then taken to a local hospital receiving treatment for burns on his hands and legs.
He was hiding under his bed.
Once he was cleared by medical staff, he was booked into the McLennan County Jail. I have for those who want to see, I've got a photograph of said nincompoop, and there he is. There's your nincompoop. That's a big moron. Set himself on fire. That's how we play nincompoops in the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'd invite you to break Ken Weaver's streak by voting for Matt Murphy.
No, sir.
Vote for me.
No, sir.
I'll go full Pavia on you.
Several folks are very disappointed that Ken Weaver has not been seen on camera wearing the crown. We'll try to repair that in the last hour of the show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for the Glock store. Folks, the Christmas holiday season is here, and if you've been wondering what to get that loved one in your life that really loves the Second Amendment and loves their guns, well, you need to start thinking about it. It is especially poignant now because you've got limited time, right? It's December 18th. Well, I want you to visit GlockStore.com. And GlockStore.com is a great opportunity for you to peruse without having to, peruse. The huge Glock Store Christmas sales going on right now, and they have incredible discounts on virtually everything they sell. And everything is on sale, and the best way to do it is this. Go to GlockStore.com, check out the incredible deals like on optics and barrels and compensators and magazines and extensions and controls and cuts and deals on factory rebate Glocks galore. You pick everything that you need out for the loved ones in your life, and you put them in your cart. And then when you check out, you choose pick up in store. And they will tell you when your order is ready. And you go and you pick up your order. And you can peruse in the store if you want. I mean, you can go to the store if you want. But you can do all of this online at home and pick it up in the store at the Glock Store. So Glock Store and GlockStore.com. It's the huge Christmas sale going on right now at GlockStore.com and the Glock Store retail showroom. The Glock Store, minutes away from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we are in for some heavy rain here in Middle Tennessee. In fact, a lot of us are getting it, and it looks like it's going to rain like this for a while. I'm seeing this line all the way back to Memphis. It is packing quite a punch right now in southern Kentucky, where there are some severe thunderstorm warnings for the Hopkinsville, Russellville areas. But in Alabama, northern Alabama, they're under a tornado watch right now as a result of this long line of showers and thunderstorms. Nothing severe right here in Middle Tennessee, but it is some very heavy rain at times. And it is just now getting here to middle Tennessee. And like I said, it goes all the way back to Memphis. This whole line is moving slowly to the east. Aaron Katersky updates the manhunt for the Brown University shooting suspect.
The authorities have now identified this potential suspect in connection with the Brown University shooting, and they have also obtained a warrant for his arrest. So wherever that individual may be stopped, once the arresting agency looks him up in the system.
Yeah, authorities are not releasing the name of this person they say they've identified as the suspect. NASCAR veteran Greg Biffle and his family are among those killed when a Cessna 550 jet crashed shortly after takeoff this morning from a regional airport north of Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's NBC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney.
The NTSB has launched a GO team to figure out what happened here. If that plane did have black boxes on it, there's a chance that it didn't. It's quite old, private jet, so unclear if it did. They're going to look at that. They're going to look at the video. They're going to check weather. They're going to search that runway. That airport remains closed to try to pick up any clues that they can get, all that perishable evidence that they want to collect in the next 24 to 48 hours.
President Trump in the Oval Office today signed an executive order that reclassifies marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 controlled substance with legitimate medical uses. It does not allow recreational use of marijuana on the federal level. State laws still govern that. Right now, about 65 miles east of Nashville, a human trafficking investigation in Smithville. Authorities say it led to the rescue of 4 children. The victims were smuggled into the U.S., they say, coerced into working at a local Mexican restaurant to pay off the smuggling debt. The operation was uncovered after one of the victims ran away to get help from police. 2 suspects in custody, and the case remains active. More arrests are possible. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, Franklin, we've got a crash. 65 southbound right before I-840. Talbot's Corner, a crash. 65 northbound. This is going to be at Trinity Lane. In Hermitage, a crash. Andrew Jackson Parkway, just north of Highland View Drive. And in Pegram, looks like a crash right now in McCrory Lane. This one is just south of I-40. And in the North Gulch, we've got a crash. Church Street right there at I-40. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome back. Hour number 4 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show starts right now. It is episode 946. Pleased that you have joined us today. We've got lots to get into in the final hour. We'll get back to your telephone calls momentarily. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to be a part of the show. 615-737-9986. I'm hearing this a lot on the super text line. Chris writes in and says, I typically like Ken Weaver's stories better, but I got to vote for Matt today. I'm taking care of business today. It looks as if Ken Weaver's going to be the big winner of the week with the Nincompoop in the News trophy and crown, but it looks like Matt Murphy has won the day. That means that there's only one fella that hasn't won it all this week, and that's you, Jackson Williams. Any thoughts?
Voter fraud's a tricky thing, Matt.
So you want to stop the steal? Is that what you're asking to do? Okay. Well, I mean, maybe you can collect a move. Maybe you can march on the Capitol Mall or something. See where that gets you. In the meantime, we've lots to get into today, in the final hour of the day. Donald Trump announced a ceremony or a series of ceremonies to commemorate the 250th birthday of the United States of America. Made that announcement yesterday. I want to get into that. Obviously, he delivered a speech, and there are some that are suggesting that this speech in and of itself was somewhat of a head fake. But the president clearly wanted to take the narrative back from what he considered to be a mischaracterization of where we are with the economy regarding his efforts over the first 11 months of his second term as president, what he did to repair some of the damage done by Joe Biden, most of which had to do with illegal alien activity and a basic misunderstanding of the economics of running the United States of America in a way that's going to lower inflation and increase economic activity. Donald Trump is doing his best, and I get that there are some critics that are frustrated with tariffs. I understand your level of frustration, but at the same time, we got some great news just today, regarding interest rates and regarding inflationary rates. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Last night, Donald Trump took to the podium where the White House was adorned in its Christmas finery and addressed the United States of America. And every major network carried it. We carried it live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. As a matter of fact, I stuck around and waited until the presidential address so I could hear it right here on our airwaves and enjoyed listening and doing so. But Donald Trump did not do what some had suggested he was going to do. He did not address nor escalate the situation going on with Venezuela. But there were rumors floated yesterday in Washington, D.C. I heard some of them, and we talked about some of the people that were actively engaged in that rumor mongering, frankly, regarding his announcement. Well, last night's speech, while I think important, I think the president wants to reset the conversation. He wants to make sure that the American people understand his position on the economy. He does not believe that the mainstream media networks, we're talking about ABC, CBS, NBC, the rest of the alphabet soups, of course, hashtag never CNN. I call it hashtag never CNN because they are a garbage network full of garbage people spewing, well, garbage. I will watch so you do not have to. I consider it an occupational hazard. I don't mind MSNBC. I don't care what they call it. I'm calling it MSNBC. I don't mind them because I know what they are. We're aware that MSNBC is a left organization, and they bring you news from a leftist viewpoint, and they don't even shy away from that. Now, Fox News, I believe, is more to the center than MSNBC, but they are slightly right of center, particularly with their evening commentary, Jesse Waters and Sean Hannity and the like. And so I would say that they are slightly right of center, and they don't pretend that they're not, especially when it comes to their commentary. What I can't stand about the commentary on CNN, they treat you like you're an idiot. I mean, they basically think that you're dumb, that, oh, we're calling this right down the middle. They're not calling anything right down the middle, but I digress. Donald Trump felt as if he's not getting a fair shake with these organizations, and so he wanted to address directly the American people. Now some are suggesting that the rumor about escalation in Venezuela was a head fake, and that was put out there intentionally to make sure that all of the mainstream media networks carried his address. Was the address primetime worthy? No. No, it wasn't. Just being honest. Is it important that most of the American people hear it from the horse's mouth, understand his perspective on the economy? 100% that's important. But there was nothing earth-shattering in that primetime address that merited a primetime address. I mean, I think we can fairly say that, can't we? Can we not? But at the same time, if it was a head fake, if he did float that Venezuela concept so that ABC and NBC and CBS and the rest of the alphabet soups carried the address, carried the remarks, I say more power to you, man. If you're engaging in a level of 4D chess along those lines, I'm here for it. I don't know that that's true. I know that the rumors were out there, but I'm here for it. Speaking of the address last night, some of the takeaways, Donald Trump announced that his administration is presenting military service members with Independence Day-themed bonus checks before Christmas. During his address last evening, the president revealed a $1,776 Warrior dividend. He said that they were already on their way to more than 1,450,000 military service members, including my nephew. How about that? Way to go. Alex, how are you? Send Uncle Matt something nice. Military service members will receive a special Warrior dividend before Christmas, Trump announced during his address to the nation. A Warrior dividend in honor of our nation's founding. In 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. How about that? Otherwise, in his primetime address, he attempted to wrest control of the narrative back from the mainstream media regarding the cost of living in the United States of America, saying that the Biden administration left him with a mess and cited several ways his administration has improved the economy. Here's the way I look at it. There is only so much looking back that the American public, even supporters of Donald Trump, will abide. I was talking with Chris Hand and Dan Mandis about this earlier. We recorded a year-end podcast together. You know, Dan and Chris have I have my podcast with Cameron Smith, All the Best Words, which I absolutely love doing. And it's a shorter form podcast. Chris and Dan do the Mostly Peaceful podcast, and they asked me to be a part of it, which was nice, and we recorded it today. And we were talking about looking back versus looking forward. And one of the ways that conservative-minded people, MAGA Republicans, Trump supporters, and libertarians alike are at a disadvantage is that we are honest-minded people. I mean that sincerely. that the truth matters to you and me. And because the truth matters to you and I, is that right? You and me, you and me, you and I, one way or the other. Because it matters to us, we call balls and strikes more fairly than do the liberals. It occurs to me that the central purpose of the existence of the Democrat Party nowadays is to convince the American people that Donald Trump is evil. And if Donald Trump says oxygen is good, the Democratic Party will begin handing out plastic bags. Over and over again, we see this as evidence of Trump derangement syndrome. I do not for a second think that the mainstream media is invested in the truth. They spin stories and they intentionally spike stories that are positive for Trump. They highlight stories and they spin stories in a way that makes them more negative for Donald Trump if that story has a negative component to it. Why? Because they hate Donald Trump. They hated the fact that he beat them at their own game in 2016. They hate the fact that he beat Hillary Clinton despite the fact that they declared he never could do it. They hate the fact that they attempted to destroy him in 2020 and they could not. They hate the fact that the leftist Democrat Party attempted to destroy him between 2021 and 2025 throughout the Biden presidency, and they were complicit in that, and they were unable to do it. And they hated the fact that Donald Trump won re-election against what they consider to be their better judgment. They do not give a rip about the Constitution if they can rip up Donald Trump. And they prove it over and over again. Do you think for a moment that these folks care about drug boats? No. Barack Obama, what was the figure that I saw that Obama bombed like 300 separate individuals in a variety of different missions during his presidency? He's bombing people right and left. They didn't say a word about it back then. Joe Biden couldn't bomb anything because he was asleep most of his presidency. But I imagine the auto pen bombed a couple of people. Now that our president is doing this in our hemisphere for the purpose of saving our lives when it comes to drug running, suddenly the media wants to suggest to you that it's unconstitutional. Now, I've stated for the record that I have concerns about the constitutionality of what we're doing, but those concerns are way down on my list. Way down on my list of things to discuss. Way down on my list of real concerns that I have. Because at very least, while the constitutionality will ultimately be determined within the court system, and that's all well and good, at very least, I believe that Donald Trump's heart's in the right place and he's trying to do the right thing. I don't believe that the political left gives one crap about the economy. I don't. I do think that they want to highlight any and all negative economic news because they think it will look bad for Donald Trump. And as we get positive economic news in the last 24 hours, I can promise you this, they're not going to highlight that because it looks good. A Harvard economics professor on CNN News Central told one of the co-hosts there, whatever her name is, Kate Bolduan, I guess it is, that the latest consumer price index numbers were, quote, positive news for the economy. The CPI rose 2.7% year-to-year in November, down from 3% year-to-year increase in September. That, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Kenneth Rogoff, a professor at Harvard, said the inflation had, past tense, very high. He went on to say, I was surprised. It was a better number than anyone was expected. Look, inflation was high. It's stayed high. It's not been coming down. But these are better numbers. You know, people have been expecting it to be above 3%. It was below 3%, well below 3%. I mean, I think the president will take this as good news. The investors will think the interest rates will get cut more, so it's positive news. There's no other way to spin it. Well, I promise you, the people at CNN are currently looking at other ways to spin it because they can't abide positive news for this president of the United States. So go back to his address from last night. The president wants to reset all of this and say, look, and he did so last night. Look, we had a mess. We've been working hard on this mess. But this hard reset that the president engaged in last night means a couple of things. Number one, Donald Trump owns it. Moving forward, for better or worse, and I think it will be for better, rational people will give the man a year, because rational people, you don't even have to be a Trump supporter. Reasonable people understand that the ship of the economy is not going to be turned around overnight. Not in a month, not in 3 months, not even in 6 months. But in 12 months, we should see that ship turning around. And I believe that it is. I think we're going to see some great things come January and February. I think you're going to see economic activity on the positive side of things. I think you'll see the inflationary rate continue to go down. I believe in this president's policies, and I think he's learning his lesson on some of the tariffs that he initiated in his first term. And I think those tariffs slowed that ship turnaround down a little bit. That said, the reset last night indicated two things. Number one, he's right to note that Joe Biden broke this thing. Joe Biden did. He is right to address the fact that the media will not give him credit for turning these things around that he turned around in the first 11 months. They won't give him credit for anything, whether it's getting us out of foreign entanglements or keeping us out of foreign entanglements, whether it's eliminating wars or conflicts around the globe, whether it's stopping the flood of illegal alien activity at our southern border, stopping drugs at our southern border and on our waters, or economic activity that's in the positive. But if we want or expect to have positive news come the midterms, Donald Trump gets ownership of this economy moving forward. And let us hope and pray that we get great economic news. That said, I'll say this, and it's not the final show of the year, so I will not make bold predictions about 2026 until the final show of the year, but I'll go ahead and give you a preview on one of them. It is against the tide of history to expect that we can retain the House of, we being Republicans, can retain the House of Representatives. I'm not a Republican, but I do identify with them, and I do vote with them, which is why I use the collective we. It is against the tide of history to expect a hold. If you get a hold, it is a miracle. I don't know that we will. But Donald Trump began last night the fight to hold on to the House of Representatives and, by extension, hold on to the United States of America. It is 6:25 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A little breaking news in Salem, New Hampshire regarding the manhunt that's going on up there for that killer. We'll give you an update on that coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, I want to remind you about efficient heating and cooling. Friends, it is the time of year where you get 65-degree weather one day, you got 35-degree weather the next day, and then occasionally you get that blast of truly Arctic air. It can be hard on your heater to go from hot to cold to cold to hot, hot to cold. It can be hard to find someone that you trust to fix that thing without just repairing it or in a shoddy way or just recommending that you get a new unit. Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, they are trusted names in the industry. I've trusted them for 4 years. I will continue to do so as I move into my new home. Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, they have the best value around. They will not simply recommend a new unit. They want to get the maximum life out of your heating system that they possibly can. Now, when the time comes, you want somebody to tell you the cold, hard facts regarding your heater. And when that time comes, Jeff Eddy will deliver the news. He'll tell you when it's time to begin searching for a new unit, and they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, so they can recommend a pretty good one for you and your family. Go to efficienthvac.net, efficienthvac.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Defend Systems. Defend Systems is a life safety and security consultation firm. They specialize in physical security consultation and active violence mitigation. That's a fancy way of saying they help keep you, your staff, your school, your church safe from unwanted intruders. Listen, folks, we live in a dangerous world. Y'all know that. You see the news on a day-to-day basis. Active shooter and physical security expertise is more important than ever. Defense Systems is that active shooter and physical security expert, and they can help impart some of that expertise to you in ways like active shooter mitigation, workplace violence prevention, site survey and threat assessment, emergency and intruder action plans, all customized to your facility. Give them a call. 615-236-6484, 236-6484, or online at defendsystems.com. Call the team that I trust, Defend Systems. Alpha and Omega, not new to the managed services industry when it comes to your computers. They've been around since 1998. Michael and his team, man, they're great at what they do. Michael was telling me when I first sat down with him, he said, boy, the computer industry's changed a lot in the time that I've been involved. Nowadays, you need 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week protection. I mean, there are bad guys. I mean, I'm sad to say, and Michael is too, but there are bad guys that are constantly trying to get into your system, get into your computer archives, to take what is yours and then use it as ransomware or worse, destroy your system. 70% of cyber attacks target small to medium-sized businesses like yours. Are you protected? Plus, I would suggest you're using way too much time and energy protecting yourself and going through emails and worrying about computers and worrying about printers. Let Alpha and Omega handle all of that. They handle everything. You get a real person on the phone when there's ever an issue, and there aren't really many issues, and they take complete ownership in helping you in all of your IT issues. So if you're a business owner, you owe yourself this call to Alpha and Omega. Make the call that so many others have made, 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or online at aando.net. That's aando.net. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy, Genesis Diamonds is the place to sparkle during the Christmas holidays. If you are counting down the days and you still don't have any idea what to do for that big home run gift, listen up. Because at Genesis Diamonds, you can get the holiday jewelry that she wants for $0 down and no interest for 5 years. If the lady in your life or the fella in your life want something beautiful, like a pre-owned Rolex or something sparkly, diamond jewelry, diamond earrings or whatnot, a diamond ring, they've got it at Genesis, and they've got it for 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. So you just divide by 60. If it's a home run, she'll talk about it for the rest of your life, $6,000 ring, for example, $100 a month, $3,000 pair of earrings, $50 a month. You can do the math and divide by 60, and you'll see the cost. Genesis also has non-commissioned experts. They're ready to help you find the headliner gift, and they've got their holiday vault, which features 50% off everything in the vault, a group of showcases featuring expertly curated Christmas ideas and gifts. Genesis Diamonds is the place to go for that spectacular holiday gift. Green Hills and Cool Springs. When you walk through the doors, you'll see the beautiful sparkle. Be sure to mention that Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis Diamonds. Check 1, 2, check. To you and your friends, and tidings at Christmas and a happy new year. 38 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Sorry, I know I'm a little weird today. I've been into the milk. I've had me a little milk during the break. You know how that goes. By the way, someone asked and answered, Matt, do you not drink coffee? Yes, I do drink coffee. And
what do you put in that coffee?
I put Splenda because I believe in the cancer, and I put a little bit of half and half.
That's milk.
No, that's half and half.
That's milk.
That's cream.
It's milk.
That's cream. That's different.
It's half milk, Half cream, half and half.
No. It's a half and half. That's different.
You're such a hypocrite.
I'm not a hypocrite. I don't like milk. I didn't say I didn't like half and half.
Do you like half and half every morning?
About half the mornings.
You drink milk.
I only drink the cream side. I take half and half, and I just take the cream parts. I leave the rest for someone else. I was given, I did an interview with the CEO of Gibson Guitars today. How about that? I mean, you're talking to a pretty big deal, Jackson. I don't know if you knew that or not. But we were out at Gibson Garage, Nashville, and I spoke to Cesar Gorkian, who is the CEO of Gibson Guitars. And that place, have you been over there, Jackson?
Never been.
That's fancy. It's fancy over there. Did you hear me talk about how much a hat cost?
No.
Look, I'm not knocking it. I understand. I mean, everybody's got, maybe I am knocking it a little bit. Would you care to I was going to get a Gibson guitar hat, a Gibson brand guitar hat. But I'm buying a house, right?
Yeah.
So I can't put too much on the credit cards nowadays. Want to guess what a cap costs over there?
$50.
$42.
Yeah, I was going to guess 45.
So we're approaching 50 with tax, right? $42. I couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger.
I bet it was a nice hat, though.
It was it was sweet. If you're looking for the home run gift for Matt Murphy, Jackson, head on down to Gibson Garage, Nashville, and find me a nice little Gibson guitar hat. One of those truckers would be nice. I was looking at the green one, but there was also the blue one with the little floral pattern on it. Love it. Absolutely love it. But anyway, I digress. So I felt like a rube. We were in this real fancy area, and Cesar, they were setting up our interview space to get ready to interview. And this thing will be on our podcast, Nashville Forward. I host a podcast brought to you by Cumulus called Nashville Forward, where I interview CEOs of businesses in town. It's a non-political deal, but I mean, it's a different side of Matt Murphy if you want to go see it. So we are about to sit down, and Cesar says, "Do you want a cup of coffee or an espresso?" And I said, "Oh, that would be lovely. I'll take one of those." And then he said something that I didn't understand. And so I just kind of played along and said, "Yeah, that would be nice." And he offered me the drink, and he said, "Would you like anything with it?" And I said, "Do you have a little half and half?" And they did. And so I put some of that in it. But then one of the fellows looked at me funny, and I think I did it wrong. One way or the other, I'm not from around here. I'm from the country. 6276 says, if you drink half and half, you like milk. No, I don't. I don't like coffee so much that I will put anything and everything in coffee to make it taste funny. And so I put a lot of Splenda in it and just a little bit of cream, which is not milk. It's different. 0152, but this is the reason I bring any of this up. 0152, Jackson. Get ready, Jackson. You're gonna be busy at 7. You ready? 0152 says, in your countdown to 1,000 shows, I'm wondering if this show, full of retread material and self-admitted gold bricking, will count as a full show or only half. Just curious. Thanks for all you do. And that got me to thinking, you know what? 0152 is correct. And so I'm officially announcing that we will be giving full refunds at the end of the day of this show. If you stay until 7 o'clock and you call Jackson, he's going to offer you a full refund for everything that you have paid for today's show. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right. So why are you blocking out the phones, Jackson?
I did no such thing.
Rod. Hey, Rod, what's up, man?
How you doing, Matt?
I'm well, thank you.
Hey, buddy, I just want to let you know, I did the commute from Clarksville, Tennessee to Laverne in a 22 GMC Sierra 1500 X31 off-road. And if you move down there to Mount Pleasant and you got to commute to Nashville, you better get you a Hyundai like Ken Weaver's got.
I've already thought about it. I've got the.
Man, you got to.
I got.
It takes
that's
your
my.
man
That's
card
my
away,
ride.
though.
Well, that's my ride, right? I mean, you said it was a 2,500.
No, mine's a 15. I'm
Okay.
sorry, mine's a 15.
Well, it's
But
even worse because
man,
mine's a 2,500. I mean, I'm sucking gas, baby.
Man, don't do it. I mean, well, do it, but you better get you a Hyundai like Ken's got. And man, I'm just telling you, I did it, and it sucks. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say that on the radio?
Yeah, you can say sucks.
Okay. Yeah, that's it, man. It's horrible. Now you work different hours, and I get it, but man, it's gonna put the miles on your GMC like you wouldn't believe. And them tires are expensive, buddy.
I'm gonna have to get me one of them, one of those little electric deals.
No, don't do that because you're in Mount Pleasant. They ain't got a good grid. You're already worried about water.
That's true.
I'm just saying, man. I love
You're saying
you,
if I bought
and I'm trying to give you advice.
You're saying if I bought a Tesla down there in Mount Pleasant, not only would they look at me funny every time I rode around town, that I would suck the electrical grid dry.
Probably because man, you're struggling with water.
I mean, let me tell you, I announced that I'm moving to Mount Pleasant, and they announced that they're going up 5 times on the water.
They're going to put a data center right in your backyard.
Look, I'll make a deal with them. I'll move. They just need to rename the town Murphy Springs, and the property values will double. They'll double.
Well, it may be, but hey, I've done it from Clarksville to Laverne, and I was making fat money. Not what you make, but I was making good money. And I looked at my miles on my brand new truck that I bought, and I said, "Man, this ain't worth it."
I love it. No, listen, you're speaking my language because you're not saying anything I haven't already thought. It's like, man, I'm gonna either have
a little Hyundai, and that takes your man card in traffic, though.
I get it. I get it. You feel like, let me tell you, whether you're driving one of those 1,500 or 2,500, you've got to admit, you feel like a beast in that GMC.
They are the best trucks ever. I love it. I love it, but I got 75,000 miles on mine. It's 4 years old.
What, you got a 22?
Yeah, 22, 22 and a half when they changed the front end.
I got you, man, I got you beat. I've got a 22 myself, and I've got almost 81 on mine. So I'm on the road, man.
Are you on a 2,500 though?
Yeah.
Diesel.
I'll tell you. Well, no, that's good stuff, Rod. I appreciate you. You're right. I mean, Rod's not wrong. Hey, you want to trade cars during the week, Jackson? Wait, yours isn't much better.
Yeah, I drive a truck.
Yeah, you get better gas mileage than that 2,500, though, boy. Promise you that. 3043, lay off MM and Jax for gold bricking. Then he made another. I need to pre-read these. I can't read the last part of that. Matt, turn one of your secret rooms into a home studio, telecommute 3 times. I've thought about it. Y'all, 7546, you're not fooling. No, one of the downstairs bedrooms, this is a stupid house, right? There's 5 bedrooms in this house. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know what we're doing. I have no idea what we're doing. One of them is one of them's yours, Jackson. Calm down. We're not taking your bedroom. But one of them will be converted into a home studio, and so I'll do the whole bit, and I'll have that home studio available for weather coverage or whatever, but I'm already angling, maybe a little Friday action at home. What are you shaking your head for? What's wrong with that? I don't know why you're shaking your head. Good stuff.
You can't leave me.
You're leaving me
for just a day.
Next Wednesday.
Not every Wednesday.
You trading me for some fellow named Buck.
I am. Greg, has nothing to do with the 2 people.
Greg. Jackson Waco wants to know if you're in a. No, don't tell them your make of vehicle. They're scouting you, Jackson. Don't do it. They asked if you're in a Ford Ranger.
Yep.
Are you really? I didn't realize that was a Ranger. Oh. I didn't realize. I screwed it up. Yeah, he drives a Ford Ranger. I thought it was a different brand, but yeah, whatever. 1513 says, I got a Silverado with 2. I did that show one day where we found a person with the most mileage on their vehicle, and we got a guy that was driving a Toyota pickup This was in Birmingham. We did this several years ago. That had 700,000 miles on his vehicle. And he said he only had replaced the engine once in it, which is an insane thing to consider. I don't mean to end the show on a sad note, but we want to remind you, for those just in their cars, Greg Biffle, named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers. His wife and 2 children were among 7. Originally, they were reporting 6. Now it's 7 people killed in a plane crash earlier today at an airport about an hour north of Charlotte, North Carolina. Greg Biffle was 55 years of age. Greg, his wife Christina, his 14-year-old daughter Emma, and his 5-year-old son Ryder, were among the victims, along with Dennis Dutton, his son Jack, and Craig Wadsworth. There was a statement that was put out, said, "We're devastated by the loss of our loved ones. This tragedy has left all of our families heartbroken beyond words. Greg was more than a champion driver, a beloved member of the community." You know, we had a caller in the first hour of the show, Steve Antle, who reminded us that more than his NASCAR career, and that's what, I mean, this is going to get more attention. It was a very dramatic crash at the airport. They took off. They recognized they had a problem with the plane. They attempted to turn the plane around and land it, and they couldn't. It flipped, and they crashed, and everyone on board perished. But it's going to get news because of his career in NASCAR. But Greg Biffle was so much more than that. He was a good human being. Greg Biffle could fly helicopters. He could fly airplanes and helicopters. And as Steve related, during Hurricane Helene, in the immediate aftermath of Helene, there were people completely isolated from the rest of humanity in towns across North Carolina, western North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee. And Greg Biffle took his helicopter, used his own money for fuel, his own money for supplies, and was literally rescuing people in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene with his helicopter, and was bringing supplies in to people in his helicopter. That shows you the type of person that Greg Biffle was, and the world is worse off because of the loss. In a moment, we'll tell you what Donald Trump has planned for the 250th celebration of the formation of the United States of America. That's after this on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Christmas, if only in my dreams.
Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for Accurate Mortgage. I knew who to call. When it came time to purchase a home, I wanted Accurate Mortgage on my team, and they are on my team. Really, they're leading the charge when it comes to my mortgage and handling all of the issues that I need. So easy to work with. I mean, so simple. They keep it that way for a reason, because they know that home buying can be stressful. And if you're in the market for a new home, the last thing you need to worry about is your mortgage. So they handle all of that for you. Now, I understand that interest rates are still a little up there, although they've come down recently, and they expect to continue to come down in early 2026. Bottom line is this: don't allow the savings in your wallet to affect, or don't lose, I should say, the savings in your wallet by allowing the interest rate in your head to impact you. Maybe it's time to go ahead and refinance and take advantage of the lowered rates. Maybe you're looking to purchase a home and you've hit that honey spot like we have, where home prices are going down and interest rates are going down simultaneous to that. Go to Accurate Mortgage today at AccurateMTG.com to see some of the difference that they make. Friends, they will never advise you to do a refinance if they don't believe it's in your best financial interest. They'll never tell you to get a mortgage if they don't believe it's in your best financial interest. They work for you at Accurate Mortgage. NMLS 129944, rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender. Call Accurate today. Bum, bum, bum. Come on. Come on, turn that up. Have you been to one of these shows? That's a Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Let me tell you, we went years ago. I was there in Birmingham at a TSO show, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and the fire cannons that they shoot off from the stage, we were like 40 rows back, and you could feel the heat. I can't imagine being on the front row, because we get to feel the heat from those fire cannons that they're shooting off as they're playing that song. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man. That gets me in the holiday spirit. Come on. Hey, Jeff, are you selling that ride? That's a fancy Mercedes that you're showing me. Jeff telling me that he's about 15 miles or 15 minutes away from me. I'm assuming this will be at the new house. If it passes inspection and we make sure all of that goes well. It passed inspection, but the radon is an issue. For those asking, we're buying a new house, and it's in Mount Pleasant, and it's an older home, and you got to get past this radon deal. But other than that, no mold, I'm told. No mold. No fans in the bathroom either.
I'll change that.
The fans or the mold?
Both.
You come in and we'll need some fans. Hey, I'll tell you all about Donald Trump's 250th celebration plans tomorrow on a Friday edition of the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Call Jackson right now, and he will begin offering refunds for this show because you deserve them. You deserve your money back. Every cent that you paid for this radio show will be refunded to you per Jackson Williams on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Until tomorrow, a First Amendment Freestyle Friday edition. Have a great evening.